Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're episode 258 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's here killing the Pope family with me tonight?
This is Joe Butler, and you could almost say we're in some form of brotherhood.
Hello, Amici. My name's Alan. I'm, you could say, kind of an acolyte to the Brotherhood, very low ranking. Here occasionally. Happy to be here, though, every time.
Welcome.
And this is your fellow assassin, Richard Sampson. You may know me from my various other previous times on this show or by checking out my YouTube channel, Rich Kale, where I play through various games, including Assassin's Creed games. And I think there is a Templar spy among us. I think it's Mike.
And I'm actual historian Kerry Chandler Carusetta on Twitch and YouTube.
And welcome, Kerry. This is your first Assassin's Creed episode.
It is, yeah. I missed the last one, which is a shame, but this is my favorite Assassin's Creed, so.
Oh, and next year we're doing Assassin's Creed 3 around July, because it feels like the perfect game to do right around July 4th.
Yeah, no, I'm that one I'm especially looking forward to because that's actually the history that I teach is American history, so.
That's a 3-hour episode when we tell you everything they got right and wrong.
Yeah, I'm an Assassin's Creed defender with some caveats.
I'm a fan of the series, but
Don't we have another one before that?
yeah, we have Revelations next, and then
I'm not doing Revelations. So I'll let y'all do Revelations.
That's fine.
I absolutely love Revelations.
Oh no, I like Revelations too. I just don't have time in my schedule for another 50-hour game.
Oh, this one wasn't. I'm surprised how short this was.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, so we are here to talk about Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, developed by Ubisoft Montreal, and came out in 2010.
It came out in 2010.
Yeah.
2010.
A year after, too. That was one of the conspiracy issues people had, is that they're like, well, this is just an expansion.
It's quite an expansion if it's just an expansion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, but yes.
Yes, back in the day when people complained a full game where you could have, 50 hours of content in the full game, but nowadays people argue if an extra 4 hours of content is even worth $60.
Yeah, times changed.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, this is I think I put 20 hours in this game. I did a decent amount of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was enough.
Yeah, I think I can't remember, we said in the chat, I showed how many hours it was for me when I 100%ed it back in 2011.
I think 50 something.
Yeah, it was 50. It was I think it was I think it was 45 is what it was. And then this time I think I put about 20 because I didn't try to 100% it.
And we should start with what our history is with this game. For me, I played it probably a year later, is my guess. Probably bought it on a GameFly sale for less than $20. Played through it, loved it, and then I played through it a year before the podcast. I was going through all the Assassin's Creed series, and then haven't touched it until this episode. Oh, what about you, Joe?
I backlogged a lot of my games back in 2013. I remember playing this, and I remember it being a lot longer, which is why I was confused when I played it this time and realized that I beat it in 2 or 3 sittings. But I remember being really hyped for this because of the E3 gameplay demo they had back when it came out, and they were showing off. I believe the E3 gameplay demo was the opening of this game, so they were showing off how you can attack enemies in one hit, and you could pick up weapons and throw them, and all of the E3 tech demo was the part where the Ezio wakes up and the castle gets blasted up until he gets shot. Yeah, it was really cool.
I don't like that part. Okay. Oh, what about you, Alan?
Oh, I was hyped for this game when it came out. I was still in high school, so I was fresh off the heels of the second game. I did the same thing. Saw the E3 trailer. Saw that they had some quality of life improvements, like being able to ride a horse in town, and I was like, "Oh, great! All right, I'm excited for that." I didn't really like, some of the limitations of the second game, and seeing everything that they were improving on, I was excited. I bought it day one.
Okay. And Richard?
This was my first time playing the game.
All right. And Kerry?
So the Christmas 2011, I bought Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, the Ezio trilogy, but it wasn't being packaged that way, on a Steam sale, and then played through all 3 of them just back to back to back, and 100%ed 2 in Brotherhood. And then by the time I got to Revelations, I was like, okay, I think I want to finish this real fast. Move on to Skyrim. Skyrim just came out. I need to play Skyrim. So So yeah, I know that I started Skyrim over that spring break, of 2012. So that was I played through 2 Brotherhood and Revelations in between that time. So that's and then replayed it here.
I mean, this is, I think, touted as like the best of the Ezio trilogy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Easily.
I mean, I think easily. Like, and not that the others are bad. Like 2 is excellent. Revelations is excellent. It's just Revelations just felt like more of the same for me, to where playing them back. I wouldn't recommend playing the entire Ezio trilogy back to back like that, especially if you're like me and you like have like an obsessive need to 100% any game that has a percentage thing.
Yeah, I don't recommend playing even the same style game back to back. Like for some idiot on this that does this podcast, did 3 open world games back to back, like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend that either, because it will burn you out a bit.
Yeah, when I finished this morning, I immediately went and installed Cyberpunk on my PS5. I was like, all right, move something different.
Yeah, I think after this, I'm gonna go play Metroidvania because.
Oh yeah, I am starting Castlevania Portrait of Ruin also. Just started that, so
I wonder why.
Yeah.
So, good game. I hope.
Always got to have a Metroidvania on deck. But
well, I mean, I'm playing through the series for my channel, but I always break things up with each game that I do. I mean, this is part of it. When I'm playing through Assassin's Creed for my channel, it's like in a 2-week cycle of when it's supposed to appear. So I'm like playing about 13 other games between each session of the game.
That's also the right way. Like, if you play the same thing, your same style game too many times in a row, it just gets old. Like,
Exactly.
I've said this on the show before, but I played Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 in a row, and by Uncharted 3, I was just like, I'm done. Yeah, that was the only new one at the time that I hadn't played. I already beat 1 and 2 years before that, and it ruined 3 for me, and I need to go back and fix that someday, but I have not even bothered.
Yeah, especially
totally.
Ubisoft games during this time. Like, you would just probably sit at like the base of a tower and just look up and be like, not today. Not today.
Well, I mean, one of the issues people had with this game, which is stupid, but is that this game, looks a lot like 2, because it's the same engine, it's the same style of 2. It's just a different world map and and that's fine.
Yeah, you're in a different city.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You get more of the same game with new mechanics, more story, but people were bitching about it. I remember a lot back then, even though this is like the fucking best game of the series, at least for a while.
It's been a long time since I played 2. Is it in Florence?
Florence, Venice.
Florence, yeah, Venice.
Tuscany.
Florence, yeah.
Tuscany,
okay.
Monteriggioni.
Right. And Rome for one scene.
Yeah, and
in the modern day
at the very end,
technically.
Right.
Yeah. I really like the modern day stuff, and I know that it's going to go away eventually. It makes me so sad.
I think you're in the minority on that.
I am.
Like, I don't think very many people like the modern day stuff in these games. I will say in this one, it's way more tolerable than in 2.
I like the modern day stuff. I actually hate what it becomes, which very minor spoiler. You be in like or it's not Brotherhood, Black Flag. You become like a faceless character, and I hated it.
Right.
But
that's the one where you're like working at Google, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But where it's at right now, even though I sat through 120 hours of Ragnarok, at the ending, I was like, oh, I'm really liking the modern day stuff.
See, I haven't played any. I played a bit of Origins, and I liked it. I actually own every single game in the series, including like China and stuff like that. But I've only actually played through and beaten the Ezio trilogy. I need to go back and play some of those other. I've had what's the Greek one?
Odyssey.
I've had Odyssey installed on my PS5 for like a year, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. That's really
a big game.
Yeah.
Just do what I want to do. I also have Odyssey installed on my computer and haven't touched the damn thing. But I also just want to go and crack open one of those like cheat emulator things where like you start the game, but you're already like you have all the skill points and you're already level 50 and you have a bunch of money, because I don't have time in this day and age. I do not have time for a 120-hour game. Another one.
Yeah, that's legit. I've been waiting to start Persona 5 for the same reason. I'm like, when am I going to have time?
Yeah.
I want to play it. I want to play it, but when will I ever have the time for it?
I mean, I'm playing Breath of the Wild here in next month, and I'm just like, I really should start that game soon.
You haven't started it yet?
I've been busy. Other games. I'm getting there.
You
I'm almost
said you
there.
were going to start it on the 1st.
I did say that, yes. I told and I remember on the 1st, I looked at the Switch and I really should start this as I played Heavy Rain.
I told you need to get started on it.
So to the back to the modern day stuff with, I feel like in 2 you got pulled into it a lot more than in Brotherhood. Am I right? Am I remembering that wrong?
I mean,
or I might be conflating it with 3 also. Oh, I forgot. I played through and beat 3 also. I forgot that.
Good. Then you finished Desmond's story at least.
Yeah, I finished this. Yeah, I played through 2, the whole Ezio trilogy and 3. But I just felt going into it, I remembered having to be Desmond a lot more than I did in this one. In this one, you're basically only have to leave the Animus once. Or
There's
twice.
the opening and the ending in this game with Desmond.
And that's it. And the rest of it,
and that's enough.
You never have to leave it. The only reason I ever left it was if I was like deep underground somewhere and I didn't feel like finding my way out. Just leave the Animus, and when you come back, it puts you back out topside.
I noticed that you got flags that something was going on outside, like the emails and all that.
Yeah.
I would jump out every once in a while because the emails also, there's some nice humorous interactions in the emails. I enjoyed that.
Right. You'd leave basically just to talk to your team. And in the second game, you left because it forced you out and said, hey, you should do some obstacle course in the warehouse. And it's like,
right.
Cool.
And you don't have like half of your skills. And so it's just like, you're playing this fun parkour assassin game. It's like, all right, now go and walk around very slowly and talk to these terrible voice actors giving their really bad lines. Simon is the most cartoonish character ever, and every line he says is just dumb.
Simon or Sean?
Sean, yeah, the British guy. Was it Sean? Yeah, Sean.
Simon.
Although it does seem that Sean and Rebecca have some sort of relationship.
I mean, is Rebecca the hacker that he's just constantly calling stupid?
Yes.
He's like negging her like nonstop. I guess they have something going on. I don't know.
I always thought he had something going on with Lucy, but that also might be Shaun of the Dead bleeding into the back of my head for some reason.
I still can't get over that Lucy is Christian Bale, and I did not realize that until we did Assassin's Creed 2.
And by the way, I didn't mean to say terrible voice acting. It was the lines. It was specifically, it's really just Sean that annoys me.
But
it all sounds like very stilted to me, though. But yeah, Kristen Bell's great.
Voice too.
Yeah.
Like he does all the descriptions and everything in certain games. Great.
Well, he's also the only one who's like annoyed the whole time. So I get why you don't like his voice, because every time you talk to him, he's like, I don't like being here. I don't like my feet are wet. It's dark in here. Why are we even here? Hurry up and get in the Animus.
Non-stop nag.
And he's the only one. So I get why you don't like that.
Yeah.
Completely understandable.
But I also, honestly, this time I never talked to anyone outside of when you had to with those people. Like I was Desmond for the least amount of time humanly possible. But you have all your skills in this one, so it's not as annoying. When you have to do stuff with Desmond, you can jump around just as easily as if you're Ezio, so it's fine.
Yeah.
In the first one, you have to learn how to do parkour of Desmond, and it's annoying.
Stuff you have to do with Desmond also isn't too bad. Like the first part is getting the villa, like finding the secret, then I think putting the power on for the villa, and then eventually escaping the villa. Like
that's
all
really
works well.
That's it.
And that's enough.
It's getting into the villa and then getting into the Coliseum. Those are the only two sections where you ever have to be.
Well, there's also like this little side one of finding those 5 little artifacts that's around the.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Yeah,
I didn't know that existed.
I didn't do that.
That was a little fun to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you a bit of a break from the Animus too.
See, I don't want to be broken from the Animus. Like I will say, this is like my one thing about these games is I really enjoy the story, the historical story going on in the game, inside the Animus. I think the ancient aliens, Kabbalah stuff is dumb. It's just it's really like some Dan Brown Da Vinci Code stuff. And it's just it's of its time for sure, but it's like I'm not super interested in the overarching storyline of the series. It's the story going on I like the overarching storyline of the idea of the Templar and the Assassins throughout history manipulating things, but all the ancient aliens progenitor stuff is just I'm not here for it. It's
literally kind of the why of it all, essentially.
Yeah, the why of it all to me is just kind of I don't care about it as much. I'm more interested in I'd like to see vignettes of this is what the Assassins and the Templar were up to during the American Revolution. This is what they're up to during, the papacy of Alexander II. This is what they're up to during the French Revolution and so on. That's more what I care about. The overarching big picture thing of it, I'm not as in for personally.
No, that's fair. I mean, I enjoyed the whole history. I love alternate history stuff too. A lot.
Yeah. It's definitely alternate.
Definitely.
What were you gonna say, Joe?
Did y'all get the racist Easter egg?
I don't think so.
If you go into if you exit the Animus and you walk up to the Altair statue, Desmond goes, "Hey Altair, what's the matter with you?" And they're all like, "Really, Desmond? It's a little racist, bud." And he's like, "I'm allowed to say it. I'm part Italian. You'll have proof."
I did not get that. I'm okay with
funny.
that, but that's
That's
funny.
funny.
Italian,
it's funny,
I'll allow it. It's fine.
But technically, Altair wasn't Italian.
Well, Ezio is. So
Ezio, yeah.
Yeah. So because you go, which I don't think they ever confirm it in the game. I don't know if I brought up before. They confirmed that Ezio and Altair aren't related.
I thought in Revelation, don't you like have a part where you go back in your Altair like impregnating Ezio's like grandmother or some weird thing? I don't remember.
It's in 2. You see Altair impregnating the woman that you help in the PSP game. But right. Yeah, but someone said that like Altair's part of Desmond's dad family, and then Ezio's part of Desmond's mom's side of the family, so they're not even related at all.
In other words, he's just very distantly related to them by blood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Altair and Ezio sure don't.
Yeah,
but like Desmond is
right. Desmond is related to both of them, but Altair and Ezio aren't related. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
In which case, that's how genetics work. That's how it works.
That sounds fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the woman is also the same one that he sort of faced off against when he went after his ninth target when Altair went after his first ninth target in your first game. So
yeah, it's that woman.
Yeah, I've never played AC1.
You really should. Just be careful, but you should.
I'll say it's very
a 50-hour epic at least.
I'll say it's very poorly rated compared to the rest of the series. I know that much.
It is, but I still like it.
Yeah,
it's proper expectations.
It ends with Desmond being imprisoned by Abstergo. Is that right?
It starts off and ends with him imprisoned by Abstergo. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
It also
AC1 is the true Assassin's Creed liberation because he liberates at the end.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it reveals that the bleeding is a bleeding effect taking a hold of him, so he's starting to get eagle vision. Is basically what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize that this game takes place. I think it's over the course of like 20 years or something, from what I remember.
It's
long.
It's 3 years. Yeah. It's 1500 to 1503.
I thought it was long. I think Brotherhood is longer.
No, 2 would be that because 2 is
just a couple years. This game
2 is definitely longer time frame.
Yeah, because you don't end 3 with a beard, like an old gray beard, like you start in Revelation. So it couldn't have been that long.
Let's ask the internet because I did not do my research beforehand.
I mean, do you mean like outside the Animus or what? Because I was gonna say you arrive in Rome, it's 1500. I thought.
Yeah, you arrive at Rome,
and then
1500.
and Caesarea, you defeat Caesarea. It's 1503.
Okay, maybe I'm.
Yeah,
it's 2 because there's a moment in 2 when you're slowly growing a beard as Ezio. There's a part where you're climbing up.
2 is the one that takes place over a long period of time.
Yeah, because there's a moment where Ezio's like, "Oh, my back's starting to hurt."
That's the beginning of 3.
Well, Revelations, yeah.
Or Revelations. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Beginning of 3.
I could have swore I read this somewhere, but I'm not.
Yeah, because I made a document of the historical stuff in this, and it's like, and everything is 1500 to 1503.
Okay, maybe you thought the whole like Ezio stuff is over the course of a long time.
Yeah, the Ezio trilogy is like 20 something years. Yes.
I mean, it is crazy. I think Ezio probably is the only protagonist I can think of in video games where you've seen him as a baby and see him essentially die. Fallout 3. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, you don't see your character become an old man, though, because depending on what happens, you just...
Well, yeah, not an old man, that's true. But you do see from birth to death with your character.
Yeah, but...
So this is the only one where you actually, like, see yourself being born. You like... exiting the birth canal. That's in 2, right?
You're so bloody, and it's like, hey, control your bloody self.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like a toddler at the beginning of Fallout 3, so not quite a baby.
At least
What makes
I mean-
Ezio special? The whole trilogy is just such special because of the fact that you play this character forever.
Yeah.
You get to see his whole life. I mean, this game you get to see a good part of his life. Like I do like how this game ends with like the picks up right where 2 ended, where you don't kill the Pope and now you're running right out of the place, and then you have the apple. I hate the fucking apple, by the way.
I do too.
I was so disappointed by the apple.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the ending yet, or not?
Well, this is the beginning,
Not yet.
technically, of 3.
Okay.
Of Brotherhood, I mean.
Yeah, we've got to work our way through.
Yeah,
We're at the beginning of Brotherhood right now.
You do have the apple at the very beginning. Yep.
Yeah, but you don't have
do?
to use it. Do you?
I forgot that.
No, I don't think you use
believe,
it.
I thought. That's literally like you escaping and you're using it to like.
Oh yeah, you do have to use it,
Yeah,
and
you
it
do have
sucks.
to use it.
That's what it was.
That's
It
why I
sucks
was
every time you
really
have it.
disappointed. It was like, what?
It was at the end of this game that you have the apple and you're using it.
I think you just get it twice, honestly.
I don't remember having it at the beginning of the game. The beginning of the game is the siege of is you going back to your villa and then it being put under siege by
Right.
Caesar.
I'm watching it. You're right.
Yeah, no,
I've
you
blended
get the
together.
apple at the end of this game, and it's annoying for both story reasons and mechanical reasons. But
I forgot that you don't use the apple. Yeah, you just run past.
Well, that's right. You just run around and you have Mario with you, and you're just fighting essentially.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Place.
well,
I see.
yeah. The beginning of the game, you go back to your villa, and everyone's like, "Hey, it's a party! Ezio's back. Let's throw a party for him." And you get like a sexy sex scene, and then I think like the best version of I can't remember who called it, but the abilities where you start off the beginning of a game with all your abilities of a sequel, and then you lose them, and there's always some story reason, Samus gets hit by Ridley, and
Castlevania.
or Death takes all your stuff. Is like, well, I'm gonna let you come through the castle, but I'm gonna take all your shit. And this one, it's you take off all your gear so you can fuck, and then a cannonball literally goes through a window and slams right through the table that you had all your stuff on. And it's like, all right, well, there you go. That's why you don't have your stuff.
And you just have no time to even bother to pick anything up.
Well, it was obliterated. A cannonball just smashed through it. You have to get all new stuff now.
Oh no, there is there's an in-game document later on where it does confirm at some point Ezio does go back and get all of the Altair armor back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny though. I mean, that's a funny thing to be like, well, hey, we're gonna have sex, so I'm just gonna take everything off, and it's gone now. Like, I like it.
Well,
Hindsight, man, he would have been like, I'd have never done it.
Yeah. No, it's relatable.
You come back from a big adventure where you fought the Pope. Of course, you're going to take all your gear off and take a nice hot bath.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long day. It's been a long trip.
That's what I'm saying. It was realistic. It was the best. It was the best version of you losing all your stuff ever.
Yeah. He spared the Pope, so he's like, you know what? I can now do a sin of the flesh. Why not? I spared the Pope, for goodness sake.
Yeah, that's got to buy you some points.
That's his insurance.
Yeah, I mean, let's not go into the Pope's family right now on that.
God, I forgot that the Borgia and all that is based on a real person.
Yeah,
real family.
Yeah, and I can speak to it whenever you want to on that, but
we'll get there shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I did not realize till the end of this game that the guy that you're hunting throughout this entire game, Cesar Borgia, was a son of the Pope. I didn't realize till the end, near the end of the game. I'm like, oh.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Is that he and the daughter, Lucretia, they're alleged in the game to be fucking.
No,
I don't know if it gets to alleged.
It goes.
It's
pretty
explicit,
it's pretty explicit that's what's happening.
Yeah, that is very put out.
Yeah.
Which is like famously like a thing that their enemies like put out about them after their death to kind of discredit them, but was never even hinted at during their lifetime. But
I mean, but I like it, and I said this in the chat. Given the history of the Habsburg family and how the royals just kept marrying into each other, that's
but
not necessarily a far off.
It I mean, it is and isn't. But with European royalty, marrying cousins was completely fine and still is. It's the brother and sister thing that was a crime. Like with the brother and sister, like it was a crime, like punishable by death. So it was like a big deal.
I'd like to make a shout out. if it would please everyone. Friend of the show, Blair Farrell, always makes jokes as whenever you fight something, such as zombies or vampire, no one covers his neck. Cesar Borgia very much did his homework and walks into this castle covering his neck, and even later on in the boss fight, you have to rip off like 4 layers. So good job. He did his homework. He protected his neck from a guy that specifically stabs people in the neck.
Yeah, very smart.
I didn't even think about that, but you are right.
I didn't think about it either myself. It's just like, how much armor is this bastard wearing? I mean,
a lot.
You did it like 4 times.
Yeah, it's a gorget.
He came prepared.
That's an aesthetic for just being like not even attempting to go for the head or anywhere else either. It's no neck or no deal, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
and if it's a cutscene assassination, it's going through the neck. He knew he was cutscene worthy, so he's going to wear a gorget.
Yep.
You know, and to get back to the story, I mean, even when they're talking, when they were talking at when Altair Ezio and his family were talking, he mentions about how the figure spoke to someone he couldn't see.
Yeah, that's at the end of 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know who she was talking to, but it's someone possibly down the line. It's like I like that because now it just adds more nuance to the story. I mean, they don't know how far down the line. It doesn't break any of those storytelling rules when you have past interacting with future interacting with past or anything like that, which is a beautiful way to get around that. You don't know how many years is going to be between them showing up, but it's something that's going to be coming, so you don't know how long or anything like that.
But no one wrote it down. No one passed it along. He kept it to himself, and they never did anything with it. Like, you'd have thought there would have been like writings of, beware of this prophecy of Desmond, you know, and like something about like, what if, like, you could just like a brainstorm on a paper, like, what if I just name my grandson Desmond? Like, what if we just mandate that happens and then we feed up the prophecy, you know, something like that. They just brainstorm.
And that could have been, but that could have also been security measure wise. I mean, prophecy, you know, I mean, it's like, what was the line from Dark Crystal? Prophets don't know everything.
I guess the best security measure about something is to just forget it exists and lose it to your entire family. Sure.
Yeah.
Or when you refer to it, you be as vague as possible.
Yeah, we're pretty vague about that.
To tell that story, right? Maybe about Desmond's parents naming him Desmond, thinking like, you know, maybe now is the time or something, you know?
Maybe.
But also, how do you explain to your family? So after I went and almost killed the Pope, I went into a room and this big alien thing, hologram, or we even know they were hologram, like image popped up that I could touch, and I don't understand what happened, and it talked to me, but it didn't talk to me. It talked to somebody named Desmond. Can you imagine this name, Desmond? I mean, your family like, you're nuts, buddy. So
he describes it in like the best way he could, which I think is funny, which he describes it as a moving painting, which is
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that would
using
be
the only
accurate.
words you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's only 3 lines away from motion picture. Yeah.
I really like the alien stuff. I like the idea that these people ruled the world at one time and humans were slaves. Like, I really like that. I was a big fan of all that stuff in Assassin's Creed. Like, I was one of the guys that was championing, like, I wanted to see a futuristic Assassin's Creed where I'm in modern day running around.
We've never gotten it.
And we're never going to.
No.
That's what I thought. That's the one thing with this series. It's like a black mark. It's like you pigeonholed it from the beginning by making more emphasis on the past, because the only thorough, like, logical conclusion is that people would eventually be able to do this in the modern day. But it's like, guns exist, dude. You're not going to be going for the neck against someone with an M16.
Yeah, or a sniper rifle.
No.
Yeah, I mean, with the tools you got it, you're going to have to use what you have. I mean, there's still the ability to keep it personal.
Because what's the farthest? Yeah, the farthest Assassin's Creed game is Syndicate, which puts you in the British time.
It's in the 1800s. Yeah,
so they have guns, but they don't have.
It's like 1870s. Yeah.
They don't have really efficient guns yet.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's about as far as you can go, like to make it viable, you know, for the kind of gameplay.
The modern day Assassin's Creed is just the Metal Gear series. So
that's all you can do. You either go Metal Gear or I don't know.
You got the secret cabal secretly controlling the world.
So you guys obviously don't play other Ubisoft games. There is a canon modern day Assassin's Creed game.
Watch Dogs, if I believe.
Yes, Watch Dogs Syndicate. There's a DLC where you play as a modern day assassin, and the way they get around is by hacking. And I think it's the stupid thing where it's like, well, this is the future. How do you hack? Well, you just hack guys where their guns don't work, and that's how you get away with not being shot.
Because all the guns are electronic. Yeah. I forgot about that they're like canonically connected. It's Watch Dogs 2 DLC, I think, right?
It's
for one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, and this will be way off topic. I mean, Dead by Daylight just this year started really reaching into the future for their characters.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? We may start seeing something like that in the Assassin's Creed series. Because the thing is with anything set in the future, it's really not set in stone.
Oh, right. I mean, it can be like Dune. You can have shields that block bullets, so then guns are useless.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to fight with knives. Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, part of what makes this series so great is how it really deals with history and locations that are known to have been under strife and all that. I mean, part of my fun with just playing these games has been running around these ancient areas in such nice, beautiful detail.
It's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they leaned into it. Was it with which game is it where they started putting out like the education version for
Origins.
for Origin? Is it Origins? Yeah. Like they know like this is like a big thing. Like we meticulously research and build these like very faithful recreations of these sites that you can run around in and climb on and stuff, and have all these journal entries about them and stuff. It's really neat.
I mentioned in the last episode that what greater like positive affirmation do you need than let's use Assassin's Creed's version of Notre Dame as a template to rebuild it after a fight.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I really do.
Like
really
if that's not the best
Unity.
pat on the back you could get, that's it.
Yeah. Is Notre Dame, is that in Syndicate? Or no, not Syndicate.
Unity.
Unity.
The one everybody hated when it came out.
Because it had a female
It's buggy as
protagonist.
fuck.
No, because it was buggy. It was really
okay.
It was bad. I worked at a
Optimized, I
Sam's
would
Club at
say.
the time. I remember that. I remember looking like, I didn't have an Xbox One yet, and people were just trashing that game on the
game?
internet. Ooh, Unity.
Oh,
Don't worry, it's good now. You can play it.
Yeah,
Have
that's
fun.
why I can't wait to play it.
They fixed it. That's good.
That's where I stopped. I got to Unity and I just stopped playing and never went past that point in the series. So that's when I finally get to play a new game.
Yeah.
but don't forget to play the weird accompany game of Unity where you have to play the three. They made Unity for Xbox One, but they made Assassin's Creed Rogue. They made Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh, Rogue I played and beat. Rogue is great.
Yeah, only for 360 for some reason.
Well, because they were trying not to eliminate the older market, and so if you had a 360, you still got a new game, but if you had Xbox One, you got another new game. So it made sense what they were doing at the time, but
They've also remastered it, so it's on PS4 and
it's
Rogue
Xbox now normally.
But we'll get to that in a few years.
We'll be as old as Ezio was in Revelations, sure.
Like this game.
Yeah.
I will be. I mean,
So what I wanted to say next, or just like with Brotherhood, we should continue on, like with the world. Everything is just so beautiful and well done with Rome. Rome is so fucking huge too, and it's makes perfect sense.
yeah, if you saw the pictures I shared earlier,
Yeah.
that is, like I said, having that flag was definitely worth it.
And
Yeah.
this game did a good job of giving you, like, there's so much fucking side content in this game, which
There is.
I was going to do as much as I could until I got to a point where I was ready to throw my controller and I was getting that frustrated. I was like, yeah, it's time to... Well, normally I don't get that mad at game, but I was doing one of the thief missions in the second later on in the game, and it had me do this race. And
Yeah.
for some reason, I kept... Like, there were guards that are on the roof, too, that are going to get alerted while you're doing this race. And they just... Like, I almost had the race done a couple times, and I got shot by a fucking crossbow, and I'm like, fuck this shit.
And you're like on the edge of the roof, and you just pinwheel backward and fall.
Oh, yeah.
And I almost had it more than once, and I was just like, you know what? This is not worth it. I don't need to do this. Why am I doing this? So I stopped. Said, okay, I'll try a different one. And that one was like, I forget, it was something, but it was another one where I just couldn't pull it off. And I'm like, we are done with the thief missions. Fuck this shit. And I finally, made peace with it. But no, I tried over 10, 12 times and just could not get this race done. And I was getting so frustrated.
Yeah, there was one that I just kept having to redo over and over and over again. I can't remember which one it was, but it was one where you can't be detected, and I just kept getting detected. I was getting super frustrated with it. I can't remember which
there
one it was
some
though.
of those that were very tricky.
Yeah,
When
and-
you get beat detected, you can't lose your target.
Yeah, and there's also like sometimes like there's a problem like the auto lock on, like where you like automatically lock on to someone that's trying to fight you, like messed me up so many times. I was also playing on a special hard mode, which is that for some reason my Bluetooth controller randomly disconnects in the middle of the game. So I'd be playing, and I mean in the middle of combat, my controller just turns off. And so I had
shame on it.
on PC. It's just it's something wrong with my PC that my Bluetooth controller like disconnects randomly. And so like I'd have my mouse with the escape button mapped to one of the extra buttons, so I could like as soon as that happened, I'd grab the mouse and hit the escape button to go to the pause menu until my controller turned back on. And yeah, I finally just started plugging my controller in with like a long USB cable because I'm like across the room from my PC because I have my PC hooked up to my TV.
Nice.
And so I just started plugging in the controller with a long USB cable like in the last like 5 hours of the game. But for the first like 15, 20 hours, I was playing like that. Just
playing on Ezio randomly has a stroke mode.
Yes, exactly.
He's 30, 30 back then. That was, old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play with a wired 360 controller. I didn't have any issues, but I don't play Bluetooth. I can't get this to run on
I'm
Steam
not going
Deck.
to anymore. You can't get
I cannot
Steam
get
Deck?
any Ubisoft game to run on Steam Deck.
Maybe it's because they got to require to log into their own
God, that
network.
stupid DRM thing.
Yeah.
Me off. Like,
God.
I bought this game. I bought this game 13 damn years ago or 12 damn years ago, and you're making me like randomly log in to let you know I actually own it. Like, fuck you.
Oh, and when you
this game is like
on
$4.
Steam, you can't even. It's like put in the code. I'm like, what code? I had to like right click on it in Library and Steam to have it show code, and I could copy and paste the code in order to get the game to run on my Steam
like
account.
A Windows key. Oh my god.
I have played a lot of I played a lot of games on Steam, and I played a lot of old games. This is that era of like huge DRM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Ubisoft and EA both got really bad about it around this time.
Yeah.
And they both also got really like just butthurt about Steam eating their lunch. And it's just Was
this the time of the when games started having like the if you buy it pre-owned you don't get the $10 code?
Yeah, the online pass. Yep.
Okay, that was Brotherhood also at the time.
Because Brotherhood was the one that introduced the multiplayer component. That was pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why the DRM is so bad.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember they were really upset about
to play the multiplayer.
We can't now.
No, but I never did back in the day. I mean, did y'all do any of the DLC?
Multiplayer, actually?
I had the Copernicus DLC with the game.
Yeah.
And
that's
the only one.
Siege of Forley.
Siege of Forley.
Isn't that too?
That's in the second one. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's because I was going to mention the Siege of Forley is an interesting like historical tidbit because the beginning of this game, right? Whenever the cannonball interrupts your pillow talk and all that, Cesare is there to kidnap Caterina Sforza to hold her hostage. Yeah. And in real life, he did that at the Siege of Forley.
Oh.
But in the Siege of Forley DLC, that's not what happens because it happens in this game instead at a different location. But I just thought that was funny that they put out that they basically transplanted the Siege of Forley to Monterigino, which is not a real place. But then they actually have a Siege of Forley DLC that isn't the historical event. That I just thought that was funny. It's it's kind of random.
Which is also included now in when you play 2. It's just in there.
It's in the Ezio collection.
If you buy the Ezio collection, yeah.
Well, I didn't buy it. I just bought it on Steam and I had it.
Yeah,
oh, really?
They must have bundled it then. Yeah.
Oh,
they bundled it at
the
some
Ultimate
point.
Edition or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say I didn't play the DLC ever, so but
you didn't miss much.
But anyway, I just thought that was an interesting note. I was just looking at my notes and I was talking about that. I was looking at that.
Yeah, because the apple is there in Fiori in 2.
Yeah, because he gives the apple.
It's then taken from Ezio by a monk who takes over Florence, sort of by doing all the shitty stuff, and have to kill those 7 or 9 people to weaken him, and then get him come out, and then you kill him and get the apple back.
Also known as padding your game.
Yeah, well, it basically gives you a good. I think with 2 wasn't it they were supposed to? It was because they hadn't gotten those parts done yet.
Yeah, and they
The
wanted to
game had
release
to be
it, from what I
released.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brotherhood doesn't have any DLC that I'm seeing on Steam. I mean, it might have just been online DLC. We can talk about the multiplayer for this game quick, like, or maybe not quick, but like the multiplayer, I didn't play it, but I know what it was. It was the whole where you would essentially hunt someone else that also is an assassin, but they don't look, you had to like get them to, because everyone looks the same until you get them to, and you got to find the guy that acts differently and then chase them down or something like that.
It's a lot like Spy Party or games like of that nature. The ship,
Yeah.
where you're given someone to kill, but also someone else is given you as a bounty to kill, and you're all just trying to fulfill your bounties of killing each other in the amount of time you have.
And then when you kill them, then
then
you get their target, and then no.
Something like that.
It can be fun.
I mean, it's very unique. So
Mhm.
it's you don't get stuff like that. But I didn't care about online stuff back then, especially online achievements, and I to this day still don't care. But it's sad that it doesn't exist anymore. If you're someone that wanted to play it,
There's modern versions, like they kept that game going. I think that version of it all the way until Black Flag.
okay.
So you might be able to still play it now if the servers are up. I don't know.
Or somebody creates a dedicated server for it.
Yeah, that too.
It's a fun game to play with like friends. If it's like you all agree, like this is what we'll do tonight. This will be our like 3 or 4 hour little game.
I mean, you can get a sample of it in this game where you have like the certain Templar side missions where you have to go kill particular Templars, and some of those, like the designs of what the person that you're killing is some of the models they would use in the online. I remember that.
Yeah, but it's not really as fun when someone is just as skilled as you with all the same tactics as you can try and kill you while you're doing it. It's that tension that makes it. Mwah.
Well, I just like the Templar stuff. I just liked that it had more. Like, I enjoyed assassinating people in this game, and I was always happy when I had an assassination mission, especially one where they can see you. It's okay. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
It's better than tailing somebody with the weird 15 seconds of object permanence that you have.
Yeah. It wasn't. I didn't have a terrible time with it in this game. My hardest thing was just trying not to be seen. Sometimes I would just get caught, especially in the Leonardo side missions when you have to do all the Leo missions where you have to get to the blueprint before you're seen. Some of those were really hard for me.
I like those. Those reminded me of a Metal Gear Solid game. That's what those made me think of.
I mean, technically, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
all of his weapons are just proto Metal Gears, especially the tank.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hated the fucking sub one, or the boat one. You have to I hated the boat one so much. Getting to that.
I like
the boat one.
I like that one. Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
That was one of the ones I did with no problem.
I had it.
Yeah, I liked all three. I liked.
I was
all
actually
three of
sad.
them.
I was like, "Where's my gunboat gondola? Give me that back."
Yeah, I want that back. Yeah, exactly.
I had a hard time with machine gun.
I want the hang glider back too. That was a lot of fun. That was hard. That one I failed like 8-9 times because I kept like crashing.
I kept taking forever on it. I just took forever to do it slowly, and I was so like done with it by the time I was finished.
But once I got it down, and I got down the idea of like shooting the ground to create like an updraft and all that, it was a lot of fun.
You just gotta play it like Arkham City. You just come down and then go all the way up, and then you just I play
Arkham City. It's very Arkham City. Yeah,
it's the controls for it are way too sluggish for me to feel good doing it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with the flying part. I had a problem with getting to the blueprints for that one. I think that one I died a lot. I had a hard time with all the stealth stuff in this game. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right mindset, but I was a terrible stealth guy.
We didn't have a cardboard box,
The ones that got me were a couple of the Borgia towers where you've got to get to the captain, and you get spotted, and that captain just bolts and then fucking disappears. He vanishes, and it's like, all right, we'll come back tomorrow.
Sure, bulky dude with your armor I could hear from like 20 minutes away. Yeah, disappears. Sure.
Yeah,
he literally just runs to a door and despawns. I watched it once.
Exactly what happens.
Yeah, with some of them it was. I remember it's like it says you'll have to wait until dusk or dawn or the next change.
You literally just have to walk away and come back.
No, if you leave the Animus and come back, then it cycles it. It respawns everybody.
Well, I just walked right back a couple times and he came right back out. But
I did. I had one. There was one. It's the one that's where I think it's the Palatine Hill. It's the one where the armor of
Romulus.
Armor of Romulus is at. The Borgia Tower there. That guy would not respawn for me until I exited the Animus and came back.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, that was specifically the one that I got annoyed with, and I looked it up, and it was like, if a guard captain isn't respawning, just exit the Animus. This causes all enemies to respawn. It's like, all right, cool.
That's good. At least
And
simple way
it
to fix
worked.
it.
Yeah, and then later, once I had the assassins, I would like target a captain from far away and just send in my assassins to kill him real fast.
Yes, that's what exactly we were
That's
supposed to
great
do.
because he doesn't run if that happens. He doesn't run from the assassins. He only runs from you. So if you're not spotted, you can just send your assassins in to kill him.
Man, the assassins are such a great feature in this game. I
That
had
is,
forgotten
I love
They
how
make
good
it
was.
OP
I love
and
it.
then to henceforth fun.
Yeah, I loved it. Like, I love when you get them. You don't get. It took me a while to get them because I have an issue with games like this where I do as many side missions as I can before I do main story. So I had a lot of side stuff done, all the Borgia stuff I could do done before I finally got assassins.
See, but once I got the assassins, I rode around and recruited every possible assassin that there was until I filled my roster. And then I just like would constantly go to the coops and send them on missions. So at the end of the game, I had all but 2 of them were max level. They were the full assassins. And
you waited until I maxed them out before I did the last section.
oh, that's great.
I did.
Oh no, I mean before the last section. Yeah.
Is this the game that like did they take that whole concept from mobile games, or did mobile games take it from Assassin's Creed? Like the whole sending things on missions, waiting actual real time hours and minutes.
I think this is like post Farmville, so I don't know. Hard to say.
So
I would say mobile games did it first. I mean,
I'd say
Farmville,
mobile games probably
Mafia Wars had to have been before this.
Oh yeah, Mafia Wars. Yeah, there you
at
go.
least Ubisoft had the kindness not to be like, let's make it longer and not pay and make them pay for it, right?
Yeah,
at least they didn't say invite your friends.
Pay $5 to refill your assassin meter.
So
and also, there's so much you can still do while you're waiting for them to get done.
Oh, they come back so quickly too. They come back in like 5
it wasn't
minutes.
so bad in this game. It's like other games
minutes.
that make it like crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like even Metal Gear borrowed this concept for 5 and Peace Walker.
Yeah.
So weirdly enough.
Yeah, you hear you're running around because you've come to Rome. Rome is under Borgia control, which is affecting free trade as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of places that could use renovation because, hey, that would bring in money, like tourism.
Right. Which is ironically what the Borgias are famous for having done is what you're doing in this game. Yes, that's the really
so they didn't close everything. They opened everything?
Exactly.
That's fun.
So this game is like a hit piece on the Borgias that's based off of some books that were written after their deaths that were hitting them. But what happened is the Borgias came to power and Rome was in ruins, and they spent a lot of money over the next several years rebuilding Rome and turning it into like a bustling metropolis, which is what you're doing in this game. They renovated all these things. They renovated the Colosseum. They opened, they reopened it essentially. It's really funny. It's also funny because they do this like really faithful recreation of Rome, except for there's one real life neighborhood that they just deleted from history in this game. And it's the Jewish quarter.
Oh.
There was a famous large quarter of Jews living in this one section of Rome, and it would have been interesting to see them, right? But the problem is the reason the Jews are there is because Rodrigo Borgia, at great personal cost, both politically and monetarily, gave asylum to Jews fleeing the Spanish Inquisition, which made him an enemy of the Spanish crown because he put his neck out for Jews as the Pope and caused the Spanish crown to be upset with the Catholic Church. Well, with
all that
Pope.
armor he was wearing, I'm sure his neck is fine.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's funny because it would have the true story makes Rodrigo Borgia look really good, and so they just like deleted this like thing. But I think it would have been interesting if they had the Jewish quarter. That would have added an interesting flavor to it.
I wonder if people who didn't know that would have misinterpreted it as like, why is there a ghetto, a random Jewish ghetto here? Like, and have like
I feel like
connotation.
I feel like there would have been like a little journal entry like this Jewish quarter was opened in 1498. Yeah, Sean would be like, well, actually, Pope Alexander II, known as Rodrigo Borgia to us, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
I mean, this is before. Before the world gets the way the world gets a little bit later. So it's not like I wonder if they just didn't want to deal with it. They're like, yeah, this could be more controversial than we want in our games. So we're just
I don't know. It's weird. I was reading a thing online that they specifically in all the games, they never have Jews in any of the Assassin's Creed games. They're just not there in any Assassin's Creed games. And I wonder, I don't know.
Well, that's a good point because you don't really see it in Jerusalem in the first game. That is weird.
May I offer a possible theory on that, then?
What?
Let's face it. The Jewish have been always a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And if you make them or show them as possible as assassins in this game or as an evil force, it's just going to...
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just a can of worms they didn't want to open, because they're also in a lot of like racist conspiracy theories associated with some of this, like basically what Abstergo is, what the Templar are in this game is like, a lot of that like stuff. But this game the thing is, this game does have Kabbalah stuff in it, so I don't know, it's interesting.
Well, as it says, these games are made by a multicultural team.
Yeah. But I just think it was interesting. It's a lot of it is like, like the Copernicus stuff. Like in real life, Rodrigo Borgia was a fan of Copernicus. The Catholic Church liked what Copernicus was saying. It was actually Protestants that gave him a lot of grief. So it's just I think it really came down to they need to demonize the Borgias because they're a fun villain. The Borgia family makes for some fun villainy.
I would slightly disagree with that. Because the Catholic Church always seemed to be, we are the center of the universe. God is, this is God's world. So by saying, well, the sun doesn't revolve around us, we revolve around the sun, that's like blasphemy, heresy. That does make sense with the sense of the Catholic Church.
It makes sense, but it's not historically accurate. First of all, Copernicus didn't propose his heliocentric stuff until 10 years after the point of this game. But when he did, the Catholic Church was like, "Oh, that's really cool. That's really interesting." And then Protestants started going after Copernicus for saying that. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying. It fits with the historical narrative, but it's just not what happened. Especially with Rodrigo. Rodrigo was a patron of Copernicus.
Yeah, and I think and
Leonardo also.
Yeah, did they have that accurate though? In the Da Vinci, the Da Vinci Code, with the Da Vinci Code. Well, with Galileo.
Yeah, but Galileo's from a different century. But yes, you're right. It was different Pope, different Catholic Church. It's a different time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it when I heard Galileo, what in my head was not what you were talking about? Figaro.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were.
That's what went in my head immediately.
Yeah. But I did like that they did have, with Leonardo, the Leonardo stuff was actually like pretty, comic booky, but accurate to a lot of the stuff with that. So he did actually work for the Borgias, and it's alleged that he may have built war machines for him, and all the war machines that are in this are based on Leonardo's drawings.
Okay, that is
and
cool.
Designs. And there's even a conspiracy theory that, because scientists have looked at his designs and said none of them would actually have worked. And there's this conspiracy theory of people are like, well, that's because he designed them specifically to not work, because he didn't want them to be used by the wrong people, which is silly, but also fun. It's like a fun possibility. Yeah. But so like you have Leonardo working for Rodrigo in this, which is accurate. And at the end of the game, once you've defeated Rodrigo, Leonardo's like, man, I'm going to have a hard time now. That's what's my source of income. And that's exactly what happened. Da Vinci became like impoverished when Rodrigo died in real life, because the new pope, the new pope at the end of this, which they skip a pope. There's a pope in between that they don't mention, but the new pope at the end that screws over Cesare, he really did do that. And he also was like, fuck Da Vinci.
Well, let's also point out that popes, as a rule, are supposed to be childless.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Historically, they have not been, but yes, they're supposed to be.
So something like that, that could also, Rodrigo already had children by the time he became pope.
Right.
So that obviously broke that rule.
The Catholic Church back then was very lax with that stuff, with their, especially the higher ranking, but even with the lower ranking priest, it was kind of like just completely normal for the village priest to have like a wife and kids that everyone just, pretended wasn't his, but nobody really cared. Mm. It was like a whole thing. But yeah, Rodrigo Borgia had like 7 children, I think. But
how many were in this game?
Allegedly, officially, none of his 7 children were actually his children. They were just believed to be, but everyone knew they were. Yeah.
So if he wasn't married, then it doesn't count.
I guess 3 of them.
I did. Did y'all do a lot of the Da Vinci stuff, right?
I did all of it.
Yeah, I did them all.
Yeah.
Is there a moment where I don't know if you get it through his quest or through like sitting on his bench? Doesn't one of them kind of low-key confirm he's gay?
Yes. There's like a thing where he like puts his. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, you're coming.
Yeah.
Okay, my microphone was like crackling for a second. I'm sorry. There's one where he like puts his arm around Ezio. I think it's in this game, right? And Ezio's like thinks it's like weird, I think.
Oh, the one I saw that I kind of remember is there's a moment they sit down and Ezio says something about why he doesn't have any kids, and he's like, "There's a bunch of reasons I don't have kids."
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ezio kind of goes, "Oh," and he's like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh," and they like kind of like look away from each other, and that's where like the cutscene ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also remember people like the lead up to meeting it, Leonardo. Like when you just found out, oh, he's back. He's been gone. Yeah, he's back. He's hired an assistant, and so, insert something disparaging about that, and that's the first indication. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because I think you hear it from somebody. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was Machiavelli. I don't remember.
Machiavelli is really annoying in this game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you start the story and apparently in the years, or I guess in the time since you woke up, like Machiavelli and some of the other main pillars of the Brotherhood are like fighting. So
Yeah,
your first opening couple hours are just you like getting the kids to stop fighting.
Yeah, him and
Yeah.
La Volpe. I mean, you stop La Volpe from killing him like at the end of sequence 7. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty late in the game still that La Volpe wants to kill Machiavelli. Which, to be fair, in real life, La Volpe was right. Machiavelli was 100% working with the Borgias. He was a big fan. He was a big fan of the Borgias in real life, specifically Cesare.
Oh no, the dude who said it's better to be feared than loved worked with the most with the people who were feared. Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, well, the thing again, that's the whole thing, because Cesare Borgia in real life was like beloved and seen as like a benevolent ruler, but Machiavelli specifically in real life wrote about him. He's like, people think that he's like this nice guy, but he's cold as ice. I think is like almost word for word. But yeah, he says something. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
So yeah, in real life, Machiavelli was a big fan because what Rodrigo's trying to do here is Rodrigo and Cesare, their whole big plan is to unify the papal states, to turn the papacy into like a powerful military power. And that was something Machiavelli thought was a very good idea. So in real life, Machiavelli was like 100% on the side. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just go with what happened in real life and make Machiavelli a Templar. Because in real life, Machiavelli was on the side of the Borgias and all this stuff. And he actually, the new pope that betrays Cesare, he has Machiavelli arrested and tortured for like years.
I wonder
So it's like, yeah.
Well, it is, quote, alternate history.
Well, I know it's alternate, but it's like, it would have fit. It's like, it's not, I'm not saying the game needs to be accurate at all. I'm saying it's like, why wouldn't they in that case? Because the real history actually makes for a really interesting story there. I think of having Machiavelli actually could have actually
really better than fiction sometimes.
Yeah, like
well,
in this
isn't
case,
also Machiavelli the one who we attribute to working behind the scenes to orchestrate how things work to the outcome you want? So the Assassin Brotherhood works in the dark to serve the light.
Right. So it makes sense that Machiavelli would be
well.
Right.
Yeah,
He fits the assassins. That's true. It's also interesting, and I'm surprised they never went there with the games. Machiavelli and Da Vinci were friends in real life. And do they ever interact in these games?
I don't think so.
Yeah, in real life, the two of them, they worked together. They diverted a river to destroy, I can't remember what city-state it was, but they basically, to destroy a Italian city-state, they were hired to find a way to do it. And what they figured out how to do was to just move a river so that the river that supplies like drinking water and trade to this big city would run dry and the city would basically like crumble. And it worked. And it's like it's interesting because it's just my thing where I'm like, man, the true story would have made for some interesting video game fodder here. It's surprising they didn't go for it, but
maybe the guy who one of the people writing this was a fan of Tupac. He's like, well, Tupac like Machiavelli, so we can't make Machiavelli a bad guy.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, in that case,
but he would have been had he been a Templar.
Oh right. But anyway, I do think it's neat that these people actually were all here at this time. Copernicus, Machiavelli, Da Vinci, all three of them were in Rome from 1500 to 1503 when this stuff was going on. Like
That's cool.
It's like Copernicus arrived in Rome in 1500 and left in 1503, which is when the time frame of this game. And Da Vinci was in Rome working for the Borgia. Da Vinci and Machiavelli were in Rome working for the Borgias in the frame of this game. Cesare Borgia really did hire like a French army during the time frame of this game. Forlì really was sacked. Catherine Sforza was held captive. All those things actually happened in real life. I think that's just really neat. Even if they took a lot of liberties, which I don't care about at all. I just like to point out.
Yeah, I like how you take real history and make it work for your story.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there like a whole subplot though with like the French being nearby too, doing some shenaniganry?
Well, that's in the game. Weird. That's in the game, right? Cesare is, but yeah, that was for real. Cesare was working with the French to use their army to kind of be the army of goal. His goal being to make the Papal States a big unified power that could stand up, which is what eventually happens with the Holy Roman Empire and Charlemagne. No, it's not.
Charlemagne really can understand.
That's prior to that. I'm sorry, but they wanted to redo what Charlemagne had done. Sorry, that's what they were trying to do is rebuild from Charlemagne.
This really is Metal Gear. Oh my god.
It really is, yeah.
Just Otacon and being a Leonardo to Ezio's snake.
Oh yeah. Well, y'all saw the screenshot.
Being liquid to building a freaking outer heaven out of the Vatican City.
And I sent you guys the screenshot, right? Of when you first meet Leonardo. If you look, there's a cardboard box,
right?
That straight out of Metal Gear, sitting there.
It goes further than that. If you beat all the virtual missions, you can play as Raiden.
France is just Gerlukovich's men. My goodness.
Wait, I don't even know if you're joking.
No, I'm not. I'm not joking.
For real?
No, there was a couple different collaboration attempts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's this one and the last one, and I think even Revelations you can play as Raiden because in Metal Gear Solid 4 you can unlock Altair's outfit.
Yeah.
Yep. And in Peace Walker, I think you get like a couple different times you get to do a leap of faith, complete with Eagle Claw.
Yeah.
Jump. Yep.
I really need to play Peace Walker one day again.
Yeah, that's the one I specifically haven't played but need to because it's story heavy.
Yeah,
I started it on my Vita this summer and I didn't finish. I didn't get very far in it, but I want to because I love the Metal Gear series and I've never played.
If you can get your hands on the HD collection, definitely try it that way because it does a lot to improve it.
Oh, is Peace Walker in the HD collection?
Yeah,
it is on the PS3 360. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like I said, I have every game in the series on some system. So.
I don't know why I've never played it, but someday. Also, Metal Gear Acid is another game I think about all the time that I want to play, but that's not a test. But another thing I want to mention, one of the side things I really enjoyed in this game was the Romulus treasures. I really loved.
Yeah, those were fun. Those are fun little dungeons.
Fun.
Yeah,
the dungeon stuff has always been pretty good out of these 3 games.
Yeah, and I'm just like I know I 100%ed this. I know I did. But man, I don't know how I did some of those in where you have to do it in 8 minutes. There's a couple of them where like how on earth did I do this in 8 minutes back then? I must have tried so many times.
Have to.
Yeah.
If you're trying to find, they put flags and treasures down there, and if you're trying to find all of them, you're obviously taking your time. You can't run through it in 8 minutes.
Right. Well, that's why you go in and get the treasures first, and then you redo it. It saves you having gotten the treasures. That's something I noticed. Like if you pick up a Borgia flag or something and then you fail or restart, it's gone. Like you picked it up. It saves that you picked it up.
Yeah, it's a different trigger.
Yeah, so you can go through and get all the treasures and then restart it and try to beat it in 8 minutes. But I didn't try that. I didn't try that this time. I was like, I'm just playing, having fun.
Yeah, and I liked how also that when you tried to do something and you failed, of course you could restart it right away.
Yeah.
But if you failed the full synchronization, you couldn't you couldn't correct it on your second try. You'd have to really restart from the beginning.
Right. Yeah. It's very frustrating. That was something frustrating is I wish there had been like a restart from checkpoint instead of restart memory. Because there's a couple of times where I was trying to get the 100% synchronization just because I wanted it and I was really close. And I was like, and I failed. I was like, all right, restart memory. And then and I'm like, oh God, this is like 20 minutes of progress it's taking me back through.
Yeah.
I really wish it would go restart from there is a reset. Because if you die, you restart from the checkpoint.
Yeah.
But there's no button to restart. But
there was only one of those that really irked me when I was doing that to try. Like when I got the assassination missions, and it's like a kill with your hidden blade. Oh, that's easy. Kill these 3 using only your hidden blade. Okay, so as I chase after the one, the damn fool falls to his death.
Yeah. I had a couple of things
out
like
of
that.
it. I'm like, technically, I killed him, but
Not the right
fool
way.
fell to his death. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be irritated. I did you go for a lot of 100% sync, Richard?
I went for the ones that I felt I could handle.
Okay.
And
Same.
like one of the
Same.
ones happens farther in the game, like when we're finding out who the actual spy is.
Right.
You have to rescue this guy from being killed. They're going to make it look it's part of the show for the reenacting the crucifixion.
Yeah.
I
love
like that one.
I love that, the crucifixion play.
And of course, what you aren't supposed to do is swim. Okay.
But you have to
There's
forget
no
about it.
water. No water near where you're doing this. And then you have to, when you see the spy, it's like, I remember you. And he's like, oh shit, and runs, and you catch him, and you find out this was the real spy. It was one of the thieves. And now you're like, oh no, I gotta stop Volpe. You run back to the island. I completely forgot that it was
Same.
the island, and then oh, you've gotta be kidding
I
me.
did the exact same thing. I jumped
Same.
in the water completely forgetting I wasn't supposed to swim. Yeah.
It's so stupid, but it's like, well, oh well.
I mean,
Yeah, when it happened, I was like, yeah.
it was just such, don't swim.
I
Or there's,
remember
That's easy. I'm
Kerry.
not near water.
same-
Oh shit! I gotta run to this guy, and then boom! Oh shit!
That same mission, you're supposed to climb to the top of the Coliseum, but I just couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go on top of the Coliseum. And if you get seen, then it restarts you at the beginning. And I just kept getting seen, trying to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go in the Coliseum. And then I finally found a little checkpoint on like my 8th attempt.
That mission was hard. I had a really hard time getting up that Coliseum too, and then just trying to get down without being and kill the guys without being seen.
Right. And then when you're in the play, like I just like it took me a minute to realize, oh, I'm supposed to go stand on the hay. And then stand on the other hay.
If you
and then
do
stand
eagle
on the other
vision,
hay.
it lights
if you do
up.
eagle vision, it points
Yeah.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one too. I failed like 5, 6, 7
Same.
times.
I
before
I
figured it
wanted
out.
to tell me, like, give me a marker, stand here. Okay, like, don't make me do eagle vision. Just tell me what to do. Like, you're a Ubisoft game. I'm not playing this because I want to be, playing an open world game where I don't know what to do with Ubisoft. I expect you just to tell me exactly what to do. So,
Yeah, but I really like that idea of they're doing the play. They're doing the crucifixion play, and his method for killing the guy is like, because if you fail, he stabs him. And it's just like, it's where the Roman centurion is supposed to stab Jesus. And so he just actually stabs him. And imagine if you were like at this play and it's like, holy shit, did they actually stab that guy?
No,
But also, there's
nobody
there's also no one in the audience. Who is the play for?
they didn't want to generate people.
It wasn't
There was
rehearsal.
There's no one. It's just, it's a full dress rehearsal with the blood and everything. But it's just like, yeah, there's no one in the audience. So yeah, I guess it's a rehearsal.
It's a good scene. I mean, there were a lot of there's a lot of good story beats in this game. I remembered a scene that wasn't in this game that I thought was in this game where I had to fly to get Lucretia Borgia, but maybe I'm making up stuff.
Saving Katerina from Lucretia was a good segment.
Yeah, that was a
part
fun
where you have to carry her without getting.
Oh God, I fucking hated carrying her because she runs away.
Oh
yeah,
I didn't have any problems with Karen or
I did.
that wasn't a problem.
She kept
Yeah,
running
she
away.
occasionally
Like,
breaks.
she doesn't run very quick. She literally
Yeah, she
smacks
runs
you
slowly.
and then just like saunters away.
Oh,
I wanted to
no.
assassinate her so bad, but you can't. I mean, you can, but you won't be happy.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was a fun sequence. And in real life, Katerina Sforza was captured and she did escape, but she got recaptured. But
In this, she just runs away and then she goes back to Forley, I think.
yeah.
I like how everybody comes back. I mean, Ezio's sister comes back. You have
And becomes a full assassin.
that was cool.
She starts
like
out
all-
as taking charge of the courtesans.
Yeah.
I like the courtesan missions too. Those side missions were fun to me.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, those
I
were.
didn't do any of the faction missions this time except for the ones you have to do to start them off. I forgot about them, honestly.
I mean, this is the kind of game where there's so much. I was just trying to mark
Yeah,
off.
I was
as
just trying to
much as
beat the
could.
game by today. So
Well, yeah,
if I'd had another couple of weeks, I would have done some courtesan missions and some thief
They're fun.
missions. But yeah, I've done it before
Very
though. I did
fun.
them back in the day. Yeah. Yeah,
they're
they
not
are.
bad. They're not like
They're
the
not bad
thief
at all.
missions that are god awful. The mercenary missions or the assassin missions, those are fun too. I did.
Yeah.
All of them but two. There were two that were in where the Pope area is, and I just did not want to go there. And I'm just like, I don't care. So then I just beat the game.
yeah. Where it's like, as soon as you walk in.
It's just the bridge. Only the bridge notorious.
It's the bridge. So it's just like, I just got to where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a horse and ride across this bridge and then become anonymous. Whenever I have to go into that area.
I use the poles that were alongside that bridge. And of course, once you open up more of that area, you just, okay, I'm just going to swim across the river over here, pop out here. How you doing? How you doing? I don't mind me.
I'm just all wet.
I hit a freak brainstorm.
Yeah, no, you can do that, but I just was like, I'm just going to ride a horse across, and then hide.
I would just murder everybody until I was anonymous.
Yeah, there's the first time whenever you rescue her and you're standing at the bridge and the waves and waves keep coming, I just kept fighting. And eventually, like when it was over, there was like 40 dead bodies just like piled. I just walked around looting the corpses while people were like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?"
And the combat
I wonder who could have did it. Not this guy. He's sitting there picking out their wallet.
Yeah, the combat is not bad. It's sometimes it's I don't know. Sometimes
I don't like it.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's you lock onto someone and you press X and just nothing happens sometimes.
Oh, this game this game is honestly like I think all of them are mostly just hold right trigger, press X when the counter button comes up.
Right, exactly.
And then you just counter. You do what's called the execution streak until anything is dead. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
That's really
and I don't like the radio. I don't like the radio menu for selecting the weapons. I would go to select my sword, and it would select the crossbow instead. And so then I'm trying to shoot my crossbow while there's like 4 people attacking me.
Oh yeah, I would basically not even use it very much. I would usually just use the D-pad to like hit right, and that's the sword always.
Oh God, I forgot about that. I could have been doing that every time. I forgot completely about the D-pad.
I was actually working my way through it just to, climbing up and getting that last flag this morning. And like, pulled out the crossbow, point, or those guys are talking over there. Let me get that poison dart. And they watch their one guy go nuts.
And start attacking people around him. Yeah. Did y'all ever use the... Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, it's so annoying, though, when you go to, like, hit somebody with, like, the knife. And sometimes it's supposed to be a one-hit kill, and you're betting on it being a one-hit kill because you need it to, like, not detect. And then it doesn't, and it takes 2. Oh, so annoying.
Did you ever shoot a crossbow at a guy and he's walking towards you and he just casually slaps the bolt out of the air of his sword?
I didn't see that. It
is badass. Yeah, I was. It was a part where you're not supposed to be detected, and one of the guards in heavy armor, or not heavy armor, but one of like the guards that looks like an officer, and he's got a sword. He's walking toward me, and his little like I can see you meter is starting to fill up. So I shoot him with a crossbow, and he just casually slaps the bolt out of the air with his sword as he's walking toward me. Like it was something out of like an action movie. It was pretty funny. I was like, "Oh, that's badass." This guy's not looking around.
You get a raise after I kill you.
Yeah.
When I got to that point, like this morning, I was like, I'm climbing up. There's all these guys coming at me. I'm like, I'm at point blank range, and then funk.
Yeah.
I was like, why did you just keep moving? Like, how could you even do the funk when there's like this close?
Yeah. I love when you are hanging off of the side of something and you grab someone to assassinate them by like throwing them off. Yeah. And first of all, it doesn't alert anybody. Even if they land, their dead body lands in the middle of a bunch of other guards, and the other guards don't even glance at them. But secondly, it kills them no matter how far the drop is. So like you could drop them just like 4 feet and they're dead, but it's death. Or maybe they're unconscious. I don't know. But I
think the implication is that you're stabbing them with the blade as you grab them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but it doesn't make the sound. And you don't have to have the blade equipped.
Kills them.
Yeah, they're just so surprised that somebody.
They're not dying. Yeah, they're dying of heart attacks from that.
They're having a heart attack.
Yeah, but there's also the added. You have to include that the added force to pull somebody over an edge.
Yeah.
So that adds to it.
You're rocketing them into the ground neck first.
You're like,
yeah.
Yoink! I mean, you try and grab somebody that don't want to fall off an edge. They're like, no.
Well, they're not expecting it, so they're a little easier. You guys. But
if you're talking like if you're grabbing them from a railing near a railing, they've got that too. So
I also really love the smoke bombs. So you get like a crowd of like 8 guys on you. You drop a smoke bomb, and no matter what weapon you have equipped, you fight hand to hand when the smoke is out. And so I just walk around, and you're just like breaking people's necks. And
That bothered me.
It looks like it really reminds me Arkham City or the Arkham games. The way the way Batman fights in those is what it really looks like. Where you're like, you grab somebody, you're like, and it doesn't kill them. None of them die. Is the thing. They all lay on the ground groaning. And so if you do a smoke bomb,
it's always non-lethal. It's pretty cool.
Right. It's pretty cool, but yeah, when you do a smoke bomb, even if you've got your sword equipped and everything, it's all unarmed, and you just are sitting there, just like snapping necks and throwing people on the ground and like.
I guess it's
pile driving people.
The sword equipped. That's when he steps on their face. He kicks them in the head when you have the sword equipped. And
there was that one challenge that you had to kill the guards while not being detected. I think that's either a thief challenge or a mercenary challenge.
Oh, there's a few of those, yeah.
But what I do is smoke bomb, choink.
I never use a smoke bomb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love the smoke bombs. It's my favorite.
It's like I even did a few. I was killing them. Kill them without being detected. Double assassinations. Funk.
So, okay, I got a question. You brought up something that I forgot, but now you reminded me. Did anybody else have a hard time getting to double assassinations? I couldn't. Like, it did not happen in this game very often for me. Like, there'd be two guys.
Once you have the two blades.
Yeah, he still wouldn't do it always.
Oh no, it did it for me.
Okay. It's specific. You have to wait for the two enemies you're trying to assassinate. They both have to be highlighted.
Okay, that I didn't.
Oh yeah. If you kind of just move your cursor, kind of not cursor exactly, but your field of vision over them.
You just line yourself up.
You angle yourself until they're both lit up, and then press assassinate, and you go down.
Yeah, like I said.
Simpler.
Well, like I said, it was like smoke bomb while they're just standing there talking. Yes, how's this going? Oh God! Choink.
I like a smoke bomb and then send in the assassins. I just love sending in the assassins. That was my favorite. Fun. That was my favorite tool in the game. And how they'd always come like different ways. This time they just like leap out of the crowd out of nowhere. This time they jump off a roof. This time they throw a smoke bomb and attack them. This time they run in on a horse.
They're better assassins than all of us. They never know where they're coming from.
They're so efficient. I had one die near the end of the game though. At the very end of the game.
I had one die too.
Yeah, it was. I sent in when we were. It's like the end of the game, not quite the end, but the end of the Ezio stuff. And you're running around with the apple, and there's a thing, and I was just like, where you had to kill all the guards in this plaza, and so I just like clicked, LB real fast and sent in all my assassins at once, and then I just got a notification, so and so has died. Like, oh crap! But it was like a level 1 that I had just recruited, I think.
Oh,
I mean, they're like level 3. They're one of the ones I hadn't upgraded fully. But
it'd be cool if like the higher level ones get like elaborate funerals when they die.
Yeah.
You get to like attend or do stuff with that. That'd be kind of cool.
I think what I just thought after we were talking about this. I should have done it. I should have made all of their outfits red.
Yeah,
I did.
And then
I didn't know
when you called them in,
you
could change the color. Yeah. And then just when you called them in, I could have just said, "Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition."
I
made them red. Yeah,
I have a question for Kerry. Is the Romulus? What was it? Is it Romulus like Star Trek or is it okay? I was like, I want to make sure. Is that based on anything in actual history? The whole Romulus stuff? Kind of yes, kind of no. Okay, I was just wondering if it was like a cult or something that
the cult of Romulus. The cult of Romulus was specifically made up by the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Okay,
and was not a thing in history at all. But the founding myth of Rome was that it was founded by twin brothers Romulus and Remus, who were raised by a wolf.
Oh, okay.
They're raised in the wild by a wolf, and then they founded Rome.
And they also discovered 2 planets many years later.
That's why in Star Trek Nemesis there's the Romulus and Remus and Nemesis is because of that.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where the Romulan name comes from, because
Okay, that's cool. I was just curious because
the whole cult of the whole cult of Romulus thing is from. I looked it up because I was curious if it was historical or not. Is specifically, according to the internet, was made up by the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is it's a fun movie.
Okay, never heard of it. But,
somebody with a chainsaw. Yeah, it's one of those like the kind of like glut of like kind of Western martial arts movies that came out right after The Matrix. Oh. But it's French though. It's French.
So it's not that old at the time.
It's got like some really cool. It's got a guy who's like really good at a staff, like Darth Maul, and it's also this is coming. It came out like 2002, so it's like or 2001. So it's in the wake of those movies. And then the final fight, somebody's got a big chainsword. It's kind of cool.
One of the things they really made better for me in this game, like in Assassin's Creed 2, throwing knives are useless. They're still useless in this game, but you have the crossbows. At least you can kill people from a distance stealthy. Where like Assassin's Creed 1, I just throw a throwing knife at everyone and they just disappear. And it was great.
Yeah, so the throwing knives would be more useful if they auto-targeted the way your gun and your crossbow.
Yeah, they don't auto-target
But
at all.
they don't. They just fly in a direct line in front of you. So if you're not perfectly lined up, then they miss. And then, as someone said a minute ago, they also are not always a one-shot kill.
No, that's
They're only a
lot
one-shot. They're only a one-shot kill on like the level 1 enemies.
And
Like
Or in
the
the
roof-
sa-
the
in
roof
the
guards.
first
completely anonymous.
Assassin's
You
Creed
can't be
game.
being watched. Yeah, I was just saying like they won't work if you're being watched. You have to be completely undetected when you throw it.
Oh,
That
right.
does make
right.
sense. I mean, they work,
crossbow's good though.
yeah, they work completely perfect in the first game.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Yeah, the crossbow I used a ton. I used the crossbow so much. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to clear off these rooftops real fast so I can run around unimpeded.
They
I
use
like
the gun too. They implemented the gun into the like executions now, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
Those are
But
the
I
executions
think
are
it takes
cool.
your ammo, which kind of made me annoyed.
yeah,
Does not.
it does. It doesn't take your ammo.
I know when you do the
I think
instant
it
kills.
does.
Oh, well, do you do it where you kill someone, then you hold down Y? Because I know you can do that, but if
No,
it's just-
I would like kill someone with a sword, but because the sword has your gun as like an offhand thing,
that
Uh-huh.
does.
it would like
I don't-
use ammo. I thought no, it wouldn't.
No, it does not use ammo, no. Because
No,
I would keep track of that because it's a really cool animation where he just kind of stabs a guy and then blows him away.
Yeah, he stabs him and then shoots him in the back of the head,
Oh yeah, where you like get
like
them to like
execution style. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I used the gun a good bit, but I used the crossbow way more. But especially for those like guys on horseback, when you're getting attacked by guards and there's one captain on horseback riding by, that's when the
Yep.
pistol was really useful because you could be in the middle of sword fighting and then just turn and shoot him off the horse.
Oh, that was fun too, trying to get that straightened out.
What was
Riding
that?
on the horse.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
funky.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It's not as good as in some other games. It's not as good as like in Red Dead or Breath of the Wild, obviously, but
It hasn't felt good until I started playing the new ones like Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla.
is it really good in those?
Yep, like normal.
Yeah,
I would
I always enjoy a horse in a game, like as a mount. Like it's kind of my favorite type of like vehicle in a game is a horse. I like riding around on horses. I guess maybe because I grew up riding horses. It's like I don't know.
I mean, it's fun doing the horseback stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. What I didn't, it was a little clunky. Is like what they will and won't jump over or jump off of.
Yeah.
But that's
And
the
then
thing, you
all-
have to get right about horseback. You know,
Right, in real life too, I guess. But also it's like usually what you do is you hold down right trigger and press A and he gallops. But sometimes instead of him galloping, you just jump off of him. That was a little frustrating. That would happen occasionally. I think it was like I wasn't pulling I was pressing A before I pulled the trigger maybe. And so instead of galloping, I just jump off the horse at an inopportune moment.
Yeah. Of course, that did make some of the tasks and finding some of the items a little bit tricky. I mean, there was
Yeah.
a flag I was trying, and some items I was trying to get at, but I'm like, how the hell do I get up there? I had to look it up, and you have to actually jump this large gap with the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have expected that because I never really did much with a horse in this game.
Yeah. There's like one or two that are that way where you have
I
to
only
do
used
that.
the horse really for one Coruscant mission where I had to because I could not get back in time if I didn't ride a horse.
I think you can
Yeah.
also use the horse to get some height on an initial jump.
yeah, you
If
can
you're-
use it to like get to better locations sometimes a little quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do that either.
Like for climbing those like columns where if the column is like 8 feet, you can't reach the top, or if it's like 12 feet, you can't reach the top of it quite. I think you can jump from the horse and reach the top of it.
Oh, that's cool.
I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I really, I enjoy I didn't this time go after all the collectible stuff, but I went after it whenever I saw stuff. I like the Borgia flags. I like, when you rebuild the aqueduct.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was wondering, and I didn't look it up. I meant to look it up because when you fully rebuild the aqueduct, there's still one part of it that's broken. And I wonder if that one part of it is actually broken in real life. And that's why you can't repair that one piece. That would be pretty funny if that's what that is.
That would be funny.
possible.
Because, yeah, if you do the full rebuild of the aqueduct, there's still one section of it that's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's-
my
and there's
OCD
no-
Although
hated
it's
it.
kind of neat to
I know,
run along
yeah.
the
Me too.
aqueducts, isn't it?
Yes, I would get up on the aqueduct and run across the city. Like I'm
that
stepping
would
in
be
all your
so
drinking
much-
water.
Well, I mean, to be fair, isn't this a time when water was unsafe to drink, so we drink beer instead?
I mean, they boiled water or mixed vinegar in it. Yeah.
Okay, they already figured that out.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the beer thing, I mean, they mix beer with water, but yeah.
It is kind of funny they didn't close the aqueduct, right? Like that is just open to all the birds. To poop in
Right,
it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is odd, isn't it? I've always thought that. I'm like, why are the aqueducts open to the air?
And this is why so many people got sick.
Especially because they have sewers, like right? They know how dirty water is. Like that should be, if anything.
I mean,
also
yeah,
closed,
they
but yeah.
made lots of mistakes. It's just like all their pipes were lead.
Yeah.
It's why someone that works on pipes is called a plumber, because the Latin word for lead is plumbeus.
Mm.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
We learned something
PB.
new today.
Yeah, that's why the letter, the what do you call it? The atomic symbol, atomic letters for lead or PB.
Atomic symbol, yeah.
Atomic symbol. There you go. Yeah, that's why you're called a plumber.
Hey, look, we achievement unlocked. I know it's not the sound. That's what made me think of. But,
No, sorry, that was me getting a notification. Sorry.
oh no, you're fine.
I have my phone silenced, but not my watch.
One of the missions I want to mention real quick is the one where you have to go kill the banker when you kill the big guy that's at a party.
Oh my god.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's a real guy.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was actually that guy. That is actually, he was the actual Rodrigo's actual banker.
Did he also get killed mysteriously?
I think so. Actually, I think so. Banker. Yeah, Juan Borgia was actually Rodrigo's banker. Oh no, that's it. He's not well known beyond that. Just that he did have a banker named Juan Borgia that was a banker, a brother, or is related to him somehow.
I just like that part where everybody's like pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much like a sex party is what's going on here.
Yeah, that's clearly what's going on. It's
it's an orgy.
He's wearing on a Tuesday though.
He's wearing his Cardinals hat while they're having.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that go against a little bit of the religion itself? Like,
I mean, like we're saying, they're supposed to be celibate.
Yeah, they were very much not. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and a lot of that stuff, because like the stuff with Leonardo and being gay, like it was a big thing. It was kind of like there's kind of like a fashionable thing to that in Rome at the time. Also, is that because they were trying to be like the ancient Romans, and so they're like, oh yeah, so like we're like the ancient Romans. We do the whole gay thing and sex parties and stuff, but it's we don't talk about it.
Yeah, that was also one you're supposed to kill him while sitting on a bench.
Yeah, that just happened for me.
Yeah,
I made it happen. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
I think Assassin got him for me.
I managed to do that one.
I bullshit my way through it.
I can't get close to him because one of these fools always seems to spot me.
I mean, he's kind of walking around. He's doing the rounds, checking up on everyone else in the orgy, like a good orgy.
Yeah, but he just seems to stay in the one area. He just always seems to stay in the one area. So what I opted to do was, okay, nobody's really looking at me. Poison him from afar.
Yeah, I
watch him go.
I used the poison from afar on the guards, and then use that as my distraction to getting close to him.
Well, the game does tell you to do that anyways. I was. Oh,
it does.
There.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I was in a like the haystack or something, and I couldn't figure it out because every time I popped out, people would look at me and I'd jump back in, and it's like, maybe you should try poisoning someone for distraction. But by the time I got that, I was already sitting on a bench ready to kill him.
Yeah,
I do like that the game gives you hints, especially if it thinks you're struggling. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying any other missions that really stand out to mention. I mean, I like how the game shows you the end mission, but then it you have to do everything else to get to that final Ezio mission where you go and kill Cesar. It's a good build up. It's a really good build up for a villain.
And again, the history thing, Cesar Borgia really did die in that battle that takes place. That's the actual battle.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I do have to ask this one, and it's more for the game related. Must you get rid of all the towers?
No.
Okay. I don't think so.
Yeah, because
speed running it, you don't have to. I know that people avoid it.
I was having an issue where I was actually trying to get rid of all the towers before I beat the game because I wanted all the assassins to run around, but I kept running into this really dumb issue where there was like one tower that was maybe 3 or 4 stars, and the game was doing that thing where if you there's an area you're not supposed to be, it kind of walls itself off, and it's like, your memories don't go here. And I was like, I'm not going to deal with this then. I'm just not going to worry about it because I don't want to run the other ones and they not let me do it. So I just kind of ignored it.
I think just even in the first couple sequences, you could actually access up to 9 of those towers.
Probably.
Yeah, there's like 3 you couldn't until I think sequence 5 or 6. And I was trying to do all of them right at the beginning, and I kept running into the invisible wall, like Alan was talking about. It annoyed me.
And sometimes those walls have like the weirdest like indents where like you can go kind of further in and then hit a wall again, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, well, I had one of those where you're supposed to kill someone, and they ran into that wall, and I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? I just had to restart it.
Yeah.
Weird.
There is that one. There was one. I think you had to kill some sort of a group of engineers or something, and it's right at the edge.
Right. I think that's the one it was. And yeah, one of them he just ran right into the like invisible wall that I can't run into.
He's like,
it's similar to at the near the end of the game when you have to kill Cesare's guards in the plaza. And one of them, and then like 50 other guards come, but you're just supposed to kill these 4 specifically to get the mission to go. And one of them just takes off and runs outside the mission area and wouldn't come back. And every time I'd go after him, it would say, reduce distance to target. And then once I killed the other 3, it says, reduce distance to target. Desynchronized. Mission failed. Like immediately, because he was so far away. And I don't know why. I just reloaded and he did it again. And then I reloaded and he didn't do it again the like 3rd time. But I was like, why does this keep happening?
That would annoy the hell out of me.
And every time I reloaded, you're at the bottom of the hill and have to climb the stairs again. It was very annoying.
Yeah, I'd be annoyed too.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
But that was like, I really hated the Apple stuff, like running around where you can't use any of your tools. Though the second time you have to do it when Cesare gets arrested, or is it? Yeah, I guess he gets arrested. Doesn't he get arrested by like when the French army or maybe he doesn't. But
he does get arrested by the French army.
Right. Never mind. But anyway, that second time you don't have any of your tools except for the assassins. You can send in assassins. When you and the other assassins show up, when you and Machiavelli and all them show up, and they all have swords, like or whatever, and you're like lifting the apple. I did not enjoy that because you're just running around. You can't do anything but just keep with the apple. You know?
Yeah, that was.
It's not even like a good feedback. All it does is like, oh, my head hurts. And it's like,
well, so it makes
cool.
Some of them. Exactly, because what it does is like some of them, they like fall down like clutching their head, and then some of them become murderous and start killing each other, and it just feels very random. And again, it was that one where you have to kill these 4 specific ones. There are 2 of them that were standing with each other. And I did it to both of them, and they just both stood there and held their heads, and it didn't count them as dead. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
So
like,
yeah, and then also
I delete another guard over to them to kill them.
So you have to have high health is what it's supposed to do, because the longer down you hold it, the more health you lose.
Right.
But there will be a second circle that forms around Ezio, which will be a white circle, and that insta kills enemies around you.
Oh, right. So you need to be closer to them whenever you use it. Then basically.
Yes. That's basically what it is.
But then you're regenerating health while you have the apple. I just thought it was interesting because it feels like the apple is something the Templar would use. And it feels like it feels weird for the assassins to use it. But I know they feel like, any means necessary. So I guess it's fine. It feels like this instrument of evil used to control the world. And now you're going to use it and cause. And I wish that the game had done something with that and have Ezio grapple with the morality of using the apple and even though he's using it, still have you use it because any means necessary, but have Ezio be like, I don't know how I feel about this. And Machiavelli be like, come on, any means necessary. We have to defeat them no matter what. And Ezio be like, but it's turning us into one of them. And, you figured there would be something like that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But it kind of felt at the end, it's just like, all right, Avalanche, just here's the end of the game. But then you have the whole Desmond sequence after all that, which was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Well,
I like the parkour in these games is really good.
I have mixed feelings with I like the Desmond stuff a lot, but in this game I was very annoyed with the final stuff for Desmond. I mean, I like the story of it. Like he sees Ezio put the apple underneath the
Coliseum.
Yeah. So then you go to the Coliseum and you have to go through this whole puzzle to get all this.
The way they figure out the password is just so it's from Kabbalah. It's in Kabbalah they claim that the god has 72 names, and that's why it's 70. It's just like only a master of Kabbalah and parkour can defeat our secret, can gain our secret weapon for controlling humanity. It was just funny.
I was very confused with that part
because then whenever you get down there, Minerva's like, creates platforms for you to jump on specifically. It's just there's a podcast, the Experience Points podcast. And they do like the game. They do like they call them the Gamey Awards, They make fun of the Game Awards, and they do their own awards. They call them the Gamey Awards, and they make up ridiculous categories like 2023's best waifu and husbandu and things like that. And one of their categories they always have is the gamiest game. And the idea of at the end of the game, Minerva creates little parkour platforms for you to get to the thing is very gamey, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's fair.
It's extremely gamey, but also fun because I like the parkour in these games. I like the parkour puzzles, especially, are a lot of fun.
It was basically one of those pick the right path.
Yeah.
Or start again.
The next to last one, when you're in the cathedral underneath the big cathedral underneath the Colosseum, and you have to vault on the chandeliers. There's one where I just kept missing it and falling all the way to the bottom. And you take no damage, by the way. Desmond's immortal. Ezio would die from this fall or lose half his health. Desmond I fell 5 times, no problem. Desmond's I'm good. Jump back up, do it again.
Oh yeah, in the future our legs are just so much stronger.
Well, that's the secret.
Is so much stronger.
I wish that was true.
I mean, honestly though, everything is good except for the truth. I've never liked the truth, and in this game it seemed a heck of a lot even more convoluted and annoying.
Well, this game fucks with you.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a thing too where I think I mentioned in the last one, a lot of the stuff from the truth doesn't really ever end up happening because they always retcon themselves in later games and stuff like that.
Wait, no, the truth is when you do that little puzzle thing. That's what you guys are talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't scan the symbols.
You do eagle vision and you see a glowing thing on the side of a building. I only did. So I remember doing a bunch of them because they're in all 3 of these games, right?
They're in 2 and 3. I'm assuming
2 and 3. I can't remember Revelations.
I can't remember Revelations at all.
Yeah, but I remember doing a bunch of them, and I felt like they were mandatory or something. This time, I only did one of them, and I never even looked for the other ones. I had no idea. Never did them. I spent so much time on them in the past, and this time I was just I did one. I was all right, I'm good.
I did.
Don't worry, the payoff wasn't even worth it. So
no.
I did all of them, and I was expecting something like what we had in 2, a story that gets pieced together.
Right.
And what we got it wasn't pieced together. It was just like a static screen with a message.
Right.
And things that you have to unlock in each, like a chess move. You're playing a game of chess.
Right.
And solving certain puzzles, which the puzzle things I did like. But the payoff was lackluster in that one, in this one. So
I remember, is it in 2 or 3 where you basically are the end of each puzzle, you're seeing the apple is on Hitler's desk, and it's also on
2.
Is it 2? Okay. Yeah. I remember that. I don't
Hitler's desk.
Well, it's in different places. It's they're just these historical photos.
Yeah.
Part of the puzzles are trying to find it. Yeah.
Look, the apple was in FDR's pocket and things like that.
3 was a crap ton of those stupid radial puzzle things.
Oh.
And I hated them.
Yeah.
So much.
I remember that. 3 is the first one that I didn't, or no, Revelation is the one I didn't 100%. 3, we'll talk about 3 in a year from now. I'll save it. But
I keep saying 3 instead of Brotherhood. I gotta get out of that habit because Brotherhood is the 3rd one. But
Yeah.
I know. It's
okay.
fine.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I thought of one more historical tidbit I wanted to throw out about Cesare Borgia. Just something cool that they didn't have in the game that would have been surprising because it's another one of those where the true story is really cool. He wore a badass leather mask, like some sort of supervillain in real life.
Was he defigured or something?
Yeah. He had syphilis, severe scarring from syphilis. And so he, specifically in the time period of this game, it happened. And so he started around 1500 wearing this leather mask all the time, which would have just made him look like Hannibal Lecter. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also in real life, when he died, the reason he died is because he was leading his men in battle. And he just some people ran from him and he was just fuck those guys. And he ran after them and his men didn't follow him. And so he ran off on his own and ended up getting ambushed. And then they killed him and then they stripped him nude and left him. They took his mask and everything. And all they left him with was they put they took a red ceramic tile and put it over his genitals and left him. That's how he was found.
Oh,
That would have been a little different way to end it.
Yeah.
At the end, Ezio's like, "All right, now I'm going to take off your clothes, rescue out in pace." But anyway,
Yeah,
I think it's funny because he it's surprising that they didn't go for the leather mask. But then I was thinking about it, it's like people would have thought that was unrealistic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, probably.
they would have been like, "Oh, this is silly. A freaking leather mask. Like, what is this, Batman?"
Not realizing that it's actually accurate to the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably exactly what it is.
Truth is
Probably.
stranger than fiction.
Yeah, but no, I like the ending of the game. And then when you get to the credits, do y'all? So did you guys sit through the all like 18 minutes of the credits?
yes.
Yeah.
I think I did.
So you get the knife in the back deal. What is it? You get
Knife-
some
Knife in the tummy.
knife
Yeah,
in the
he
heart,
stabs her.
something like that. But yeah, knife in the heart. That's what it is. A knife in the heart you get for achievement for sitting through them. I didn't
I don't
know.
think I
I was
sat
just
through
like,
them.
I
have
just
to
left the
look.
credits running while I played Marvel Snap and listened to occasionally like someone scream. Occasionally someone would like scream or something. I'm like, what is going on? And then it's just like really long credits. But can you? Because I know after the credits, it put me right back in Rome, and now I can run around and continue to collect stuff. Does it do that
Yeah.
if you quit out of the credits also?
Yeah, it just lets you it just skips it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I had to sit through the credits to get that. That's why I did it.
Oh, I don't have.
That's talking about and then that scene though where Desmond gets controlled by the alien and stabs Lucy.
Oh yeah.
That fucked with me when I first played this game because I really liked Lucy, and it doesn't tell you why he did it. It just happens, and they're like, "Well, that's
Yeah,
nice."
it sure doesn't tell you why.
Does it explain it in Revelations? I don't recall.
Nope.
Nope.
They don't
It doesn't get
explain it
explained
till
until
3.
Oh, it's in 3 they explain it. Okay.
And they explain it
Literally,
through DLC.
Revelations is him just dealing with it the whole game.
Right. Is she
Well,
dead? Is she dead
she's
in
dead.
Revelations?
She's
yeah,
dead.
that's what I
She
thought.
dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
They can't afford Kristen Bell. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, that makes a lot more sense now that I think about it.
Kristen Bell was starting to get big.
Yeah, obviously they can't keep the famous person around. So
Before Assassin's Creed 1, like she was in Pulse. That was like that was the first time.
Hey,
I've
and
ever
Veronica
seen her.
Mars.
And Veronica Mars. But that was like it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
The Good Place happened, and all of a sudden, they can't afford her anymore.
I wonder if that really was what it was. They're like, we can't.
No, I think The Good Place came out a little bit after.
Yeah, The Good Place was
Okay,
a
I
long
didn't-
time after that.
I watched that show, but that was recently.
That
I
was a show.
was looking to see what she did after this game, but it's been a while. Oh man, a lot of stuff. But
Her
yeah.
husband, Dak Shepard, right? So like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
they have the money. She didn't have to work no more.
Yeah, she really didn't have anything big in terms of her own work until Frozen, which is 2 years after this.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I wonder maybe it was just stories that like we want to have her be, because she was the one that orchestrated this whole thing, so we're gonna have her get. I don't know. It really bothered me, and
It's like a spread your wings and fly Desmond thing,
But
Get out of the nest.
she still continues to do a ton of voice work. Like she mostly does voice work.
It bothered me when they kill her in this. It really did.
I wonder if there's anyone from the original team that's like ever came out and is like, yeah, we kind of low key regret killing her off in like the Brotherhood.
Well, especially because for no reason. It's not like they explain. Like, is it just to give some dramatic stakes to Revelations?
No, it's very much just there's a reason for it, but the reason you find out's really stupid.
Yeah, it's been so long since I played these, I can't remember. So
I can't remember either.
I'll have to replay 3 because 3 I didn't get to 100% because of some bullshit.
We have an excuse to in June next year.
I remember what it is if y'all want me to tell you.
No, not if it's not in this game. We'll wait.
We'll save it for 3.
Fine. Well, I also think you don't find out it because I want to say you also find out in the DLC for Revelations because there's a DLC for Revelations where it's like a first person parkour fucking.
Play that, but I know what you're talking
I know what you're talking about. I was doing that earlier.
Were you supposed to play?
But it's more about Desmond's backstory, not so much about because I did it all. I don't think it actually explains anything about Lucy.
I thought it was
then.
just about Agent 16.
It's about Desmond. It's about what he was doing, like how the farm worked and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Okay, all right. Then I'm probably wrong because like I said, I never played that DLC, and I actually never really played all the way through 3.
But if you do want to talk about the Gamey Awards, like that whole sequence in first person would probably be a contender.
It's really
very
goofy.
much that.
Yeah,
I never played it. I got through like 2 missions, and you actually have to like be in first person and jump on platforms. And I'm like, I'm not playing all this all the way through.
Yeah.
Trying to do platforming in a first person game? No, thank you. I mean, I've done it.
I think Mirror's Edge does a good job of it.
Okay, Mirror's Edge does, yeah. But
yeah, I don't know.
Star
I'm
Wars
really
Dark
interested
Forces
to try
does not.
Like playing this really made me want to buy the Assassin's Creed for the Oculus that just came out, Mirage. Yeah, I've heard that it's really good. I feel like it's like $60, and it's just like, I don't know, like I can't imagine that I'm gonna get $60 worth out of it, because I use my VR headset like once every 2 months. So
as a guy who's terrified of heights, I can't even imagine playing that in VR. Like,
I love it. I love the stuff like that in VR. As long as it's not laggy.
I hate heights, so I won't be okay.
Did I send y'all that TikTok of where the guy's playing Assassin's Creed VR and he's singing like Tequila or whatever it's called?
I don't think.
Okay, I need to let that for y'all real quick.
Put it in Discord.
Yeah.
All right. Any last things you guys want to say about anything that we missed?
No, nothing I can think
No,
of
I'm
right
good.
now.
No.
I'm good.
Okay. And then it was a year later than we get Revelations, and then I think is 3 a year after that or 3 longer? Can't
I want to say it was after that.
I think it was right after that. Yeah.
Okay, they were still doing their damn yearly
Let me
releases.
see.
I'm just curious.
You want me to
But
look
they
it up?
did have a brand new engine to show off for it. They love that snow.
It does snow in that.
Yes, it does. And you are in New York, so
Yeah, I really like 3 a lot. I'm looking forward to talking about it. It has problems, but I'm looking forward to talking about it.
I hated 3 when I
Let's see.
played it back in the day. So I'm very curious to see what my opinion will be when we get to it.
My big problem when I played 3 was that I was enjoying the main storyline so much that I played through it too fast, and it locks you out of like all the side content if you play through. If you like reach a certain point in the story, and it completely locks out in all of the side stuff, like
Until you beat it, right?
Yeah, all the homestead stuff, exactly. So you can't go back and build the homestead up at all.
Does the game tell you that?
I don't even know. It doesn't tell you that at all. You're just playing, and then all of a sudden, none of the homestead quests are valid anymore. And I don't know if you can even do them after you beat the game. So I didn't build up my homestead at all. And I'm someone who wants to like 100% everything. And I was like, fuck. It sucked because I was just enjoying the main story so much. It was so good.
All right, here's when they were released, okay?
Okay.
Assassin's Creed 2007, Assassin's Creed 2 2009, Brotherhood 2010, Revelations 2011, Assassin's Creed 3 2012, Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4 2013, Rogue and Unity both came out in 2014. Syndicate 2015, Origins 2017, Odyssey 2018, Valhalla 2020, Mirage this year.
Wow, those games really have come out year to year, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
That's
only been
crazy.
like a year or like 2 years as the highest gap. Or maybe
Try
3
again now. 3 now, yeah.
Yeah, 3 between Valhalla and Mirage, which was supposed to be potentially DLC, which they expanded. So, take that grain of salt with it, I guess.
All right, and then I think we should go to questions, comments, memories. I do have a few I want to read. I watched the entire Overload Super replay. I got from John Aldridge. I still remember the end of that game absolutely breaking my mind. The death at the end just shocked me more than most anything had, and the fact that how they ended the game was downright mean, left on that cliffhanger for a year, hurt. Longer than a year, because you don't find out what really happened. And from Lucas Harris, easily my favorite of the Ezio trilogy. I played the ever-loving shit out of the multiplayer mode.
Speaking of which, I know me and Mike, have y'all, Kerry, Richard, and Alan, have y'all played the next one, Revelations? I know Richard probably hasn't.
Yeah,
Richard has it.
I haven't started it yet, so
Okay.
I'll be starting it after this.
I played it back. I played it back
I'm
when it
working
came. I
through.
played it back when it came out, right after I beat
Yes.
Brotherhood. Yeah.
Because it's super not clear, and I don't think it explains in the trailers either. The ending of this game, Desmond's left catatonic. That's why I think I don't know if they say who it is, but whoever shows up basically says just throw him back in the Animus. We'll figure it out.
That is in the
Yeah.
that's in the credits of this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it a
you hear-
random voice that you don't know, right?
You hear
Yeah.
like a guy say he's catatonic. Someone goes, put him back in the Animus. We'll get what we need, or something like that.
I think you don't find that out till 3 who that is.
You find out at the end of Revelations.
Okay, I remember who it is, but I'm not going to say.
I remember
think I
Okay,
remember
I
too.
just found out something.
You like Assassin's Creed?
That was in Assassin's Creed. That's the voice of Subject 16,
I don't know who it is.
Cam Clark.
That sounds
The
really
Metal Gear
familiar.
references keep going. It's Liquid.
Oh,
That's awesome.
okay.
That's funny.
Liquid, you could call him Liquid. He was Leonardo. He was a version of He-Man. I actually have his signature in my one my one Eternal Darkness book because he did a voice in that game.
Well,
Small world.
Eternal Darkness is just what if Metal Gear, all the voice actors had a reunion.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Good game, by the way.
Very
there's an
good
episode on the
game.
show. So go
Yes.
check that out.
Need to
All
replay
right,
that.
and then from the official Laser Time community, from Dave Heen, for sure my favorite Assassin's Creed game. It has such a fun loop that I never got bored of. I'm pretty sure I got all the achievement points on this one. So good. From David Gabor, I love this game. Walking around, sending a team of assassins around with a simple whistle never got old. That is 100% sure.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. And from the Assassin's Creed group, I got one from Cyrus Winkler, 99%. I could never do the tank mission without taking damage until I did on another save. Honestly, my favorite of the franchise. And from last group, from Giant Bomb, from Daniel Johansson, this was the one where you could call in your bros, right? It was so fun. Yes.
Yes, it is.
From Robert Labaz, I played so much of the multiplayer, there's really nothing I found like it. From Anthony Cruz, such a good game. It was the last AC I liked. And from Blake Ellen, still the best Assassin's Creed game. And one last section of comments and memories I do want to read from it. I'm doing something new on Discord, so if you want to chat if you want to put your comment, go on, join our Discord. You can chat on there. From the Let's Play Princess, Phoebe, friend of the show. I love this game. Holding your fist up and having a barrage of arrows obliterate an army will always be satisfying. Also the game to introduce some of the best multiplayer out at the time, which they will sadly never bring back. And from Michael Colby, also a friend of the show, Brotherhood took everything great about 2 and made it better. They made a tower defense section that they didn't overdo, and it was fun to play, and the catacombs were all fun. My favorite game in the series. That is Revelations. But I'll still appreciate it. So, all right, and you too can join us, talk on our Discord. All right, so positive things. I look forward when I poll people for Revelation to see what people have to say, because that was a game that was not liked, if I remember correctly, back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to skip on Revelations, but I'll be here for 3 for sure.
I got to get you for 3. Yeah,
I'm already seeing something I'm going to like about Revelations.
I don't think it's a bad game. I think I just had issues with it at the time, but I'm excited to go back.
Capital F fine. Totally acceptable.
Yeah.
It looks like there's two new vendor things in there.
Can't remember anything.
There's some new elements and stuff that they've definitely added. Some again, a couple traversal improvements that they brought over into newer games and stuff like that do make it more enjoyable in that sense. But it's still at its heart mostly the same game as the 2 games before it. So I can understand why people would get franchise fatigue by now.
Yeah.
The way I could describe it for myself is Brotherhood is the best gameplay wise, but Revelations is pretty much best story wise. I love the story of Revelations.
Yeah, story's good. Revelation's also shorter than Brotherhood 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually still a fan of 2 the most. I think the novelty of the whole setting was just so good to me. But we'll talk about it when we do the.
Yeah, I also hated 3 when I played it back in the day, so I'm really excited to go back and see how I feel about 3 when we play it next year.
Same, I actually agree with you.
All right, and I have a Steam code to give away. This is a Steam code for Stygian Reign of the Old Ones. I have no idea what that is, but and the code is MIOCP. I think that's a 0. I don't know. Put a 0. Try either or. 2MA9KN3M7R. That is your Steam code for Stygian Reign of the Old Ones, and I have no idea what that is, but there you go.
Well, given that Stygian relates to the River Styx and it actually means very dark.
I did not know that.
Probably going to be something very
Dark?
Close to or close to Lovecraftian.
Yeah,
it was a typo and they meant to say sturgeon and it's about a bird.
or a fish. There's a fish called a sturgeon. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I had it wrong. Maybe just fish, not bird.
Oh no, in Minnesota I know we have a fish that's called the sturgeon.
Oh yeah.
I can't say that. Oh, and let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Kerry, why don't you go first?
Yeah, Shelf. I love this game. I had a great time playing it this time. Again, I'll probably play it again another time. So,
all right,
definitely.
And Richard.
Oh, this was definitely Shelf. Like I said, I enjoy traveling. I enjoy traveling around Rome, rebuilding Rome, seeing all the sites that we know of Roman history, and some that I didn't necessarily know of, and building up, giving the various factions side operations or outside operations to work from. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game, beautiful design. Some of the missions, they're 100% requirements. That's going to take a lot of time to do, but I have to respect that for people who devote that time into the game. But yeah, definitely shelf.
Okay. And I'll go next. I'm also going to put this on the shelf, too. I had a really good time playing this game again, and even though I couldn't play it on my Steam Deck, I still had a ton of fun playing this on PC, and I'm glad I got to revisit it. I was really looking forward to playing this one, so on the shelf. And what about you, Joe?
I'm going much also going to put this on the shelf. I love all the quality of life stuff. The story is good. And surprisingly enough, I do like the fact that it is as long as it is, especially because I don't really think I did any of the side quests. I pretty much just played the game. And then I wanted to do a whole thing where I wanted to beat the game and do the side quests, but I usually also don't care. So, but I enjoyed it still.
That's fine. And Alan?
I'm going to be the one detractor. I'm going to put it in the stack.
Oh, okay.
I do enjoy this game. Don't get me wrong. I just enjoyed 2 much more. I think that a lot of the things that this game does that they took from 2 weren't quite expanded upon so much. Is just more of it. And it didn't really feel too much different. And honestly, I didn't really care too much about the Borgia family as much as I did about the other cast of enemies in 2. But definitely well worth it. Worth time, worth your effort to play it. If you can, definitely give it a good shot.
Okay, that's fair. And then eventually, I think February is the plan. You can hear us talk about Revelations. Yeah, February. So that should be your next Assassin's Creed. At some point, I got to cover that movie. But I've never seen that movie. Someday I should get around to that.
There's also a Assassin's Creed. There's a Revelations movie. Did you say the regular movie?
No, just the movie in general. That there's a with Magneto.
Michael
Yeah.
Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie's pretty good. I watched it with my husband at one point, and we had a good time. There's also a Revelations movie that which shows the ending, the absolute ending of Ezio's story.
Embers, which is in the collection. Yeah.
Yeah. How long is it? It's like an hour?
Yeah, like 90 minutes, something like that.
Oh, that might. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I liked it.
Oh wow!
Assuming it's on YouTube also.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, it's one of those things where it came free with the game, so they're just like, yeah, just put it on YouTube. No one really cares.
Okay, yeah, we might have to watch that and talk about it then, depending on what it is. So, and I also want to let you know what you guys can hear next week. Next week, you get to look forward to Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, a Devil May Cry style game that is a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas. So that's what you get to hear about next week. Kerry, where can people find you at?
Hey, I'm on Twitch and YouTube at Karuseta, Kerooseta. I modify and repair video game consoles or just kind of stream whatever I happen to be playing at the time. Apex, things like that. Dark Souls, lots of Dark Souls.
And your son's YouTube.
Oh, yeah, thank you. NatureP Dragon, NATROPY_Dragon. He does dragon puppets, and he appreciates the shout-outs on the podcast.
I mean, of course. I mean, anytime I have, there's a link in every episode you've been on. I put it in there.
Thank you so much. That's really
nice. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
I always try to support people that help me out, and even though he doesn't help me out, his father helps me out. So if I can help him, it works for me too. So, and Richard, where can people find you at?
You can find me up at my YouTube channel, which is Rich Kale, where I play through various games and franchises. Assassin's Creed has been one of them since the start of this year. Yeah, in part you, in part I was going to start playing it for the channel anyhow. I'm also working through other franchises, like the Tomb Raider franchise. By the time this goes up
next week,
yeah, I will have finished playing through the original Core Designs timeline. In fact, just when we were recording this, the last video of that was premiering, where I finish off Angel of Darkness. And so I'm going to say this. It's definitely not one to replay. I'm glad I played through it once. That last section was brutal. And add to it, yeah, they do have bugs in it. Story-wise, it's actually a great story. And unfortunately, probably should have been able to allow it to continue from that one, but they reset the timeline for the next trilogy that they did, which I've started in on already. Not just because of you, Mike.
I like the next trilogy they started, so I'm with you on that one.
You're playing them out. You're having us play them out of order for that.
That's because I want to do it now. But yes.
But you'll also find stuff of mine up on various fan fiction websites and that, like fanfiction.net, Comic Vine. They have a fan fiction section for them, and Archive of Our Own.
Okay. Right, and if you enjoyed this episode, there's over 550 other episodes of this podcast. We have done Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, so you can go on Podbean, you can just type in anything you want. Star Wars, Assassin's Creed, you will find episodes. Tomb Raider, you will find episodes. So check out our giant catalog. We do movies, comics, TV shows, whatever people convince me to talk about, pretty much, or what I convince people to talk about with. So just check out everything that we do. If you want to support the show, we do have Patreon. For those $1, you can vote in our Patreon poll. You'll see one every month. So sometimes two. Sometimes. There will be 2 actually next month. But so it's a great way to support the show. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Hasfree. You can follow her on TikTok. She is TikTok famous now, and you will see in the show notes her link tree. So she's on Twitch too. So definitely go support her. Support the people that you heard on the show too. It will be all the links in the show note. You want to chat with us? Discord. Fuck, I forgot to do that earlier. I need to fix that. But go chat on our Discord that I mentioned earlier in the comment section. So you can join it and chat with us on there. You'll see a link in the show notes to that. And please, I'll give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker to the MC Movies with me. Definitely go check out his podcast. It's on hiatus right now, but he has a good amount of great episodes. So go check him out. And I want to give a shout out to Nomads of Fantasy. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Requiescat in pace.
What he said.
Later.